My goodness, we're here. How are you doing? How was your Christmas? Are you getting ready for New Year's Eve? It's tomorrow, by the way. It's also the next time the Oilers play. They will take on the Utah Hockey Club at Rogers Place. That'll be a 7 o'clock game tomorrow. Our coverage will commence at 6 with the Oil Stream pregame show. The Oilers coming off a weekend in California that saw them gather just 1 point out of a possible 4. They did not play particularly well in those two games. We'll dive deeper into those contests and just some other things going on around the team as we move along throughout the afternoon. We're happy to hear from you. You can text the EST inbox at 780-218-9999. You can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. It always warms my heart to get an email. And, of course, you can participate with us and, more importantly, with each other in the Nasty Chat, in the Diabolical Dialogue on YouTube. And if you're there, give us an old thumbs up as well as we try to get to at least 100 every show. We did that on last Monday, Jay, just seconds after I signed off. As you might expect, on 2 days before Christmas, different audience tempo to the day, but we did get to the 100 thumbs right at the end of the show, which was pretty cool. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, Reid.
I don't know where to begin with you.
Well, that's a loaded question, isn't it?
I don't know where to begin with you because I know you had a great Christmas. I know you value your family and your friends. You're not an old curmudgeonly hermit like me.
We've got a guest.
Hey, how's it going?
Yes, no, it was a great Christmas. Christmas is my favorite time of the year. Love it. Spent a lot of time with my family, my wife's family, friends. It was great. It was a really nice break. So happy to be back at it, though. I definitely missed you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. More than I thought I would.
In what way, dare I ask?
I didn't think I'd miss you
just
all that much.
Just by general presence? By general being?
I don't know what it is. It's I think actually what I really missed was the dunks. That was something that
I had to do one without you last week.
I saw it
Matthew
and it broke my heart.
Yeah.
It broke my heart. I must say I do believe the production value on that one you guys did was
Yeah, fair enough.
The details.
I'm just
Reid,
the
details.
I'm just the talent.
But you know what? You just need to be told what to do and how to do it. What's my cues? Where am I
direction
at?
Well.
You do very well. So as executive producer and lead filmographer of the shoots, you could tell I was not involved.
Right, fair enough.
That's no slight against Matthew Awana.
Well,
it's
a little bit.
It's a tough job.
I think it's actually quite a defined slight against him.
No. It's just everybody thinks they can do this, and
it's harder than it looks.
Maybe it's harder than it looks.
It's harder than it looks.
No, Christmas was great, Reid.
It's interesting how ever since we got the classic arcade machine from Playmore Tables and Games a couple of weeks ago, I now know the games by sound.
Yeah.
I just heard something in the back of my ear that hit the back of my mind, so to speak, and I'm like, oh, Gager's playing track and field, which maybe has become the number one game on the machine, though.
Maybe? No, that's not even close.
Bigger than Tecmo.
Yeah, those guys can do Tecmo all they want. I want to know, because track and field is taken over. I mean, we've got world record boards, which I must say.
Well, I came in with some experience dating back to my mid to late teens at the Emmonsburg Arcade.
You're crushing it.
So I had the technique down. Gager's also very good.
Because what do we have? We have 5 or 6 events that we have
no
world
one's
records
past the high jump.
Right. You almost did today.
Gager and I have made it to the high jump. And again, this is a game where you have to qualify in each event to make the next event. It's not, do all 6 events and see what your score is. It's if you don't make a qualifying standard. Hammer throws the 5th event. It's quite hard to get past.
Hammer throws nearly impossible.
Well, because you have to time it, and the guy spins so fast. And then there's high jump. It was funny earlier today, though, because my world record on our machine in the 100-meter dash, which is to qualify in the 100-meter dash is 14 seconds, which is incredibly easy.
Yeah, it's
incredibly.
stupid.
I mean, maybe the first time if you've never used the machine. It
should be
before,
11 tops.
It should be 11. I agree. So we're sitting there in the bullpen, and our buddy YouTube Trevor Party, who was winding down his shift because he's here early in the morning.
He was a tired boy.
Is doing the 100 meters, and we hear him kind of do like you could even hear the fist pump, and he comes over to us and he's like, "I got 10.99 in the 100 meters. Is that a world record?" I had quite a profanity-laden, sarcastic response for him.
It was hilarious.
Yes, we can't say exactly what I said, but well, you too. We both strongly indicated not only that it was not a world record, but that it was perhaps somewhat foolish to even inquire if 10.99 in the 100 meters would be a world record.
Don't talk, Trev.
Yeah, just keep practicing, buddy.
Keep going, bud.
Keep trying to get timed out.
You'll get it. Fun fact: my basement is turned into a gymnastics studio. Yeah.
Do we have a photo of this?
Well, no. That's the one that Zach's going to put up is a little Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, we allow the girls to open one of the gifts from Mom and Dad. Obviously, because Santa hasn't arrived yet, so the gifts over there are from Mom and Dad. So we gave them the glue crew setup.
Oh, there we go.
So they are, and what a silly gift that is. White hoodies for children.
What could go wrong?
Didn't think that one through,
Here's
did
your
you?
spaghetti sauce, kids. Those are just pre-smeared on there.
No, they love them. They love them. My
Those
wife.
are nice shirts.
Yeah, we all put them on, and we had a glue crew moment around the tree. It was great. But no, Santa delivered this massive gymnastics mat in our basement. I'll have to get it. I'll bring a picture in tomorrow of the
I think I might have heard a little bit about Santa preparing to get this.
I don't know how he got it in the house.
Yeah, I don't know where he had to go to get it, or where in Edmonton he might have had to drive.
Incredible.
Yeah,
so
he's an incredible man.
The girls since Christmas have been doing. We have a phone, like an old smartphone that we just now have on like a really basic plan because we don't have a home phone.
Okay.
So if one of us is out or the girls, so you could get a hold of the girls essentially.
Okay.
And they've been taking that phone downstairs and doing skit after skit of choreographed dances and routines and numbers with the bar, because there's a bar too.
Right.
So the day after Christmas, Boxing Day, they all woke up and so we're all so sore. They were all so sore from doing gymnastics all Christmas Day. Their triceps, backs, all muscles were sore. So they had a heck of a Christmas.
It's amazing Santa got that down the chimney.
Well, we did learn and I know it's our off-topic topic, but about Christmas movies we watched.
Right.
But we did learn that on the Santa Claus movies, because a lot of homes don't have chimneys.
Right.
So Santa morphs through the walls and through the roof.
Yes.
To get in. So I was
very
so happy
magical
to
man.
see that. He mystical, magical, he's everything.
Very, very magical man.
He's all the M's.
We were talking about Christmas movies, of course, before Christmas, back to the ESG Christmas draft we had. So I took your recommendation and I watched The Grinch. Hey, we lost the hockey game, by the way.
Hey, we lost the hockey game. I don't know.
On the ESTV. This is great. Live sports in the afternoon. Are we going to have we'll have the Winter Classic tomorrow, I think, during the show. Right? St. Louis and Chicago. The bowl game's in the evening.
Yeah, the bowl game starts. No, we'll have the start of the bowl game. I think it starts during the show.
Oh, does it?
I believe.
Okay.
Can't wait. What the heck?
You got Hell's Kitchen on.
I don't want Hell's Kitchen.
You want TSN?
I certainly don't want Radio Canada.
Anyway, I took your recommendation and watched the 2018 version of The Grinch with Benedict Cumberbatch voicing The Grinch.
Yes.
That was good. That was a fun movie.
That was, it's my favorite.
To me, the dog and the reindeer kind of stole the show, though.
Yeah. Well, what about the goat?
Oh, the screaming goat, yes.
I love that little goat. I think he, okay, we're trying here.
So
this is bad. We should have a camera over here that has to show
shows us trying to change
old
channels.
men trying to work new technology.
Well, you've been pretty good with it. I don't know why it went off that channel. They're down one, right? Over one. There it is, Germany and Latvia at the World Juniors. Canada, of course, not playing today. New Year's Eve showdown with the United States tomorrow. It's not going.
Clicking the thing, and it's not doing
working.
Things.
So also watch Despicable Me 4. I mean, they're still good, but I feel each one kind of drops in quality by a few percent.
Yeah, it's played out.
Yeah.
It's
the Gru and Little Yellow Guys, but they're making more. I think there's another Minions movie coming out.
Oh, sure there would be. That's a franchise now.
I should recommend this movie to people who are like me and like the action and maybe some of the monsters and some science fiction and some good effects. My dad and I watched Godzilla -1. I think this is a 2023 movie. It's Japanese with subtitles, so it's not part of this Godzilla and Kong stuff that they're doing in North America.
Godzilla -1?
It's called Godzilla -1. It's set in the 40s and 50s. and it's really good. And it won. I didn't realize this till we were lining it up on Netflix or whatever to watch it. It won the Oscar for Best Visual Effects for the year.
No way.
Year it came out. It looks really good. Like,
What's the -1?
I don't know why they called it that. I think just because there's so many Godzilla movies. That's the title they gave it, so it stands out a little bit more.
Is he missing a tooth?
Yes, he's missing a huge tooth in this one. But it's a really good movie. I would recommend that. If you're into science fiction and don't mind giant creatures stepping on people and knocking over buildings and stuff like that.
Who would mind that?
Who would? Yeah. Well, it might bother some people. We're having trouble watching the World Junior game.
I don't know what's... Yes.
We got the ESTV, and we can't get to work today.
Okay. We're just going to let it take a... Everybody needs a breath.
Take a breather. Thankfully, it's not a Canada game.
Thankfully.
I just mirrored on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that where you doing, Gager?
Yeah.
Oh. But it should
Can I
work,
mirror
though.
it? Oh, yeah. What is this? The 43-inch crystal? Sweet. Okay, I'll mirror it.
Oh, good. Okay, that's what we'll do. So anyway, our off-topic topic today for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading graphics with design, print, and install all in-house for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service, combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be, is what they call the William Huff Advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout, 780-454-4536. Let us know what movies you watched over Christmas week. And maybe for some of you, maybe you still have time off, or maybe you didn't get a lot of time off.
We got into some real good ones.
Yeah, so what did you guys see?
Well, we did in the wrong order. I would suggest us to do this in a different order for those next year. But the surprise of them all was the Naughty Nine.
What is that?
The Naughty Nine is this young boy finds out he's on the naughty list. And then he finds out a bunch of his friends are on the naughty list as well. And they're the Naughty Nine.
Oh.
They commandeer a plane. These are children.
Okay.
They commandeer a plane and fly to the North Pole and essentially ransack the North Pole and get to the list. And then these children, Reid, that already commandeered a plane and got to the North Pole, all the while their parents don't know they're there, they recalibrated the list.
Oh, wow.
But then they got caught.
Did they fly the plane?
No, they commandeered a pilot, too.
Oh, they...
See, the main
kidnapping, basically.
There's several kidnappings happened. The main character, the boy that put this all together, his dad works in aeronautics. So he had a connection to the
so he's got an in.
He's got an in.
Right.
He had an in.
I know a guy.
Yeah. So the Naughty Nine, what was his name? Danny Glover was in it at the end. That's
nice.
Not a spoiler. And then we watched the Christmas Chronicles. Outstanding.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've somehow missed this entirely.
Winning. That
Okay.
was that won it. The Naughty Nine was surprising because nobody had ever heard of it. Christmas Chronicles are legit.
Is this the one with Kurt Russell
Yes.
as Santa?
Yes, and boy, he looks fantastic.
Oh, wow, okay.
His hair is flowing, luscious Santa locks. And then we watched the Santa Claus, which is the Tim Allen.
Had the kids never seen that one before?
None of us had seen any of these.
Oh, you hadn't seen the Santa Claus before?
No.
Okay.
Now, had I done it had I had to do it again, I would watch the Santa Claus first because it's clearly older.
It's 30 years old.
So the graphics stink. The kids were laughing when the sleigh was going from house to
I
house.
see. Okay.
Just not that great of a production value. But Christmas Chronicles, that definitely won Christmas. Oh yeah, both of them.
Oh, there's
if there
two
was
of
a
them.
third, I would have watched it too.
Is Russell in both of them?
Yes.
Okay. I totally missed those. All right, so our off-topic topic is let us know what movie or movies you watched over Christmas week and give us a brief review on each.
This comes in from Jason and Leduc. Reid, Marvel What If Season 3 just came out.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I don't think I've seen Season 2 yet.
Well, you got something to do now. Dear Santa with Jack Black. So I think that's a newer
That's a new one, I think.
movie.
Yeah.
And then he says it's hilarious. And Skeleton Crew is big with his son and
Oh, the
Jason.
Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I've only watched the first episode.
Could be.
I would like to watch that. I think it's getting good reviews. So I would like to check that out.
Pooh Bar 2. Yeah.
I have not seen Fubar 2. I've only seen Fubar 1. Fubar 1's a classic in that genre, I think.
This must be. Is it no, it's not.
Have you
April
seen Fubar?
Oh, that's
Okay.
my nickname's Terry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who gave you the from the football guys?
My friends.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
This must be. It's not April 1st. I'm just trying to see if we're getting hen weighed here.
Okay.
With the, okay, I'm just going to read it.
Yeah, sure.
With the Rangers imploding and impending fire sale, been a lot of chatter here in New York. Oh, okay. This is Anthony on Long Island.
Hey, Anthony.
Been a lot of chatter here in New York about Rangers going after McDavid. With the Shesterkin signing, bringing in McDavid to rebuild the team around these two. Big market endorsements making number 97 franchise player. Not sure of EST thoughts on this building chatter.
I don't think McDavid's leaving the Oilers.
I would have to agree with you.
I mean, that's all I can say to that. There's what else? I mean, so they can sign once it's July 1st. They can sign McDavid to a contract extension, right? Because he'll still have a year remaining on his contract, but you can sign extensions in the final year of the contract. So that's what happened with Draisaitl, right? He signed an extension. Well, wasn't that our first day, September 3rd?
Big news.
So he signed an extension September 3rd. So this is still the final year of his old contract where he's only making $8.5 million. So here's the thing. If the Rangers were going to go after McDavid in free agency, that could not happen until the summer of 26, correct?
Right. Yeah. So not happening. I mean, hey.
Well, I guess if he refuses to sign an extension, it's going to increase speculation, but I do think he'll sign an extension in the summer or early fall.
Wouldn't that be something, eh? McDavid a Ranger.
But it's like...
Come on, Reid. Let's just pretend.
No, I don't want to pretend because people will hear that and get all upset about it.
That's the point.
Oh, okay. You want to upset people.
Yeah. McLovin says, Jay, did you watch Polar Express? And he says, Skeleton Crew is a fun show, gives off Goonie vibes. McLovin, I didn't get around to Polar Express. I think the kids watched it in the basement at their uncle's house while the adults were playing crib, but I did not.
Oh, you played crib?
Oh, yeah. Got my butt whooped.
By who?
Who didn't? It's a good thing Iwanek didn't play me because he would have got me. My mother-in-law kicked my ass. My dad whooped me. It was a Christmas crib event to forget.
Just want to read this here. The NHL announcing that the Dallas Stars have been fined $100,000 for violating the collective bargaining agreement between the NHL and the Players Association. This is because they practiced on December 26th. You're not supposed to be on the ice on Boxing Day.
How much was the fine?
$100,000.
Woo!
Significant fine. Which the fine money goes to the NHL Foundation. It's more than some of the players get for like, oh, you got a $5,000 fine for nearly breaking someone's neck with a hit from behind. $100,000. I heard Elliot Friedman talking about this on a broadcast either yesterday or the day before that this could happen, that the league was looking into this. You can't do anything on the 24th, 25th, or 26th. And remember a couple of years ago, the Leafs got fined because their plane left too early. You know,
right.
Like they weren't supposed to fly as early as they did. So the Stars do get in trouble here.
Why would they do that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they would think they would get away with it.
Well, wouldn't the players be like, no, this is a day off, boss? Like, wouldn't the players have said, no, we can't do this?
I'm not sure. That's a really good question. Because you would think
whoever their NHLPA rep is should be fired.
Right, because you would think, you would think somebody would say, okay, this isn't a gray area.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a day that is, usually we don't practice on it, but there's not an actual rule. There's an actual rule. You know, this isn't like, oh, we didn't realize you meant Boxing Day. Or you're like, oh, we thought it was, until 1 and we practice at noon. Sorry. Like, this was, no, you don't do anything on Boxing Day.
So they played on the 27th. And they played on the 23rd.
Yeah, some teams played both the 23rd and 27th.
So they got like the worst possible.
Yeah, which has happened to the Oilers. This year it didn't, but it's happened to the Oilers in other years.
I'm not saying I care. I mean, you're a professional athlete. You get paid millions of dollars to do this, so deal with it. But, they played on the 27th. Maybe they thought they'd sneak something in. Or maybe they thought it was like a 72-hour rule over that
I think they were just trying to
I know, but how
see if they could get away with it.
What kind of idiots
But in this day and age,
that?
you're not going to get away with it.
No. And like I said, why wouldn't somebody in the locker room say, "Guys, what are we doing? Why am I on my way to the rink? This is not allowed."
Well, a player must have reported it.
Yeah, but why don't you report it to your boss? Save him a few shekels. Say, "Hey, idiot, I'll split the 50. You give me 50, and I'll tell you we can't do this."
Right. Anyway, so that's the Dallas Stars do get a $100,000 fine. We got a lot to talk about. We'll get to the latest from Oilers practice. You're going to hear from Chris Knobloch and Jeff Skinner. In about 20 minutes, we're going to have one of the guys behind the website, Scorigami. If you've already heard of Scorigami...
So is it? Do you say Scorigami?
Scorigami? How do you say it?
I don't know. I'm torn.
We'll ask him.
Okay, good.
Origami? Because that's what it's based on. I've never even thought about that.
It's the pasta.
And I like pronouncing things correctly.
I like Scorigami.
Scorigami. If you know what this is, then you're probably thinking, oh, cool, Reid and Jay are having somebody on. If you don't know what it is, NFLscorigami.com. Look at it in the next 15 minutes, and we're going to get the story behind it. That and plenty more ahead on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Mill.
The Dallas Stars have been fined $100,000 by the NHL for violating the collective bargaining agreement for practicing on Boxing Day during the NHL's holiday break. And there's 3 games today, seeing the Predators meeting the Jets, the Kraken against the Utah HC, and the Rangers on the ice with the Panthers. And in the World Juniors, Kazakhstan fell 5-4 to Slovakia in overtime, while Latvia trails Germany 2-1 entering the third period. And the 49ers battle the Lions to wrap up NFL Week 17, while the NBA has 7 games, including the Knicks playing the Wizards. This sports update is brought to you by Sit and Sleep, and Sit and Sleep has its Boxing Week sales ongoing, where you can save big on all the major sleeping brands. Get a queen-size Eurotop mattress with patented non-flip pocket coils, gel memory foam, and 5 comfort zones for half price at just $3.99. Shop great deals like this and more at Sit and Sleep, but only while supplies last, so don't miss out. Get shopping at Sit and Sleep. You can find them in South Edmonton Common, next to Planet Fitness. The Reid Wilkins Show returns on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish for your sports update.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store, or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of The Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
You know, this year, I want to give the gift of Christmas spirit.
Okay, well, what's the going price for Christmas spirit?
Actually, surprisingly affordable. $25 brings Christmas to life for a senior living at a Capital Care Center.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, yeah, and they have a community shuttle, so Christmas spirit continues all year long. They can go out and do things and just be reminded there's an entire village of people who care about them.
Become a part of our village at Capital Care Center. Donate at capitalcarefoundation.net.
right, here's how the Oilers lined up at practice today. We'll see if they play this way tomorrow. McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Henrique with Janmark and Brown. Ryan with Perry and Kapanen. Jeff Skinner, and we'll hear from him later on this afternoon, skating as the 13th forward at practice. Ekholm with Bouchard. Nurse with Stetcher. Kulak with Emberson. And Stuart Skinner expected to start in goal tomorrow. So the trials of Jeff Skinner continue, and we will definitely have some discussion on him as we move along throughout the afternoon. Utah Hockey Club in town tomorrow. We got the ESTV working. A reminder, Team Canada eliminated at the Spengler Cup. It was kind of like, so Sam Gagner was the captain of the Canadian team. And Dustin's gone to this tournament, and I've interviewed other people who have played in that tournament. And, it's a party.
Yes.
I mean, you see it on TV. And Dustin and other, I think Glenn Anderson went and played one year, and I interviewed him, and he said, we were shooting fireworks out our hotel window on Christmas Eve. It's the town, just Davos, which I don't think is a huge place, gets taken over by this tournament. But it was kind of funny. As you know, I talked to my mom a lot about sports. She's a big sports fan. But she wasn't that familiar with the Spengler Cup, but she must have seen something about Gagner being in it. And she became more interested in it, and she was asking me questions about it. And she's like, well, what do they win? Who's on this Canadian team? So I finally had to say, Mom, it's actually not that big a deal in terms of you want to win it, but it's not the Canadian team is a very slapped together team, so to speak, right? Of European players, older players like Gagner. So it's a fun tournament, but it's not, because my mom's like, so it's a bigger deal than the World Juniors then? I'm like, no, Mom, it's not a bigger deal than the World Juniors.
Yeah, I know. I don't get it. I think it's just because it's Canada. Anything Canada, hockey.
And it's all club. The rest of the teams are European club teams, right?
Yes. Well, the Straubing Tigers, what they're saying, it's one of the greatest upsets in over 100 years.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
They bounced Canada with a 4-2 win.
Anyway,
I got one for you here, Reid.
Sure.
This is a little NHL fantasy question for you.
All right.
Ethan Mamer in the Nasty Chat. Where is it? Anyone think? Oh no, sorry. This is Scotty Knows. Anyone think Matthews or Kaprizov will play this week? Can't decide whether or not it's worth putting them in my lineup. Leaning towards putting Kaprizov in and sitting Matthews.
First of all, I generally hesitate to meddle in other people's fantasy teams. And quite frankly, Jay, as you know, I have very little interest in other people's fantasy teams.
I had to try and see if you'd bite. We don't know. And
I would also lean towards putting Kaprizov in and sitting Matthews. That's also what I would lean towards doing. But really, do what you want.
Well, and I will get to Ethan's message here. After the game the Oilers played yesterday, the fact Skinner is a scratch is a joke. Knob has made many shrewd calls in his time, but his stubbornness on Skinner doesn't make sense. I might agree with that a bit.
Now, we don't know what the line will be tomorrow.
We don't.
We don't know. I mean, there have been other times that they have not played the way they practiced. I remember before Christmas, it looked like, they're actually going to break up Eck and Bush. No, they didn't.
Right.
So maybe Skinner plays tomorrow. The Oilers were, what did I say on my tweet? I think I said generally poor, because the special teams were excellent.
Yeah, they were very good.
The special teams yesterday were excellent.
2 for 3 and 0 for 5.
The rest of it was fairly awful. I thought the special teams, and Pickard for the most part, I know some people didn't like the first goal or the winning goal, but having said that, he made numerous big saves in the second period to keep the Oilers ahead and then tied for a while. We're going to talk more about Jeff Skinner when we do the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel. Do I think he should be playing? Yes. But do I think he's earned a spot in the top 6? I'm not sure that he has.
I don't think he has either. But did Podkolzin or Kapanen, right? Did they earn their way into that, or were they given the opportunity to try them?
Yeah, well, Kapanen wasn't there yesterday. Kapanen kind of got to be there when Hyman was out. and he did okay, and then I guess he stayed up there for a while. To me, Kapanen's actually been fine for someone off waiver. What does he have? 4 goals as an Oiler already?
Yes, he's been more
actually
than
been fine. I just think, and this, I'll reiterate what I said on Twitter yesterday, and I've been saying it on air for a while now. The Oilers don't have a second line. Well, let me rephrase that. They don't have a good second line. They don't have a true second line. So that's why Draisaitl and McDavid are getting put together so often. So I think that I realize Knobloch or any coach that has coached the Oilers in the McDavid-Draisaitl era, well, why does he go to that combination? Well, because if he sees nothing going on from any of the lines, that's an almost guarantee that you'll get something going on from at least one of the lines. But then the counter argument to that is, well, doesn't it weaken the other lines even more? I hope they leave, because they don't always start games together, but they've been finishing a lot of games together. Henrique, Janmark, and Brown. And I will say, in a pretty dull afternoon yesterday by the Oilers, I thought that the third line had a good third period. They got some zone time and played with a little bit of energy. But here's the thing. You have McDavid and Draisaitl, and I'll say this again, perhaps playing better than ever. I don't know what their final stats are going to be at the end of the year. They probably won't have, the team probably won't have as good a regular season record as they've had other years with those two guys on the team. But those two guys, especially, now, to be fair, I didn't think McDavid had a great weekend. He didn't have a shot attempt against LA. I didn't think he created much, and I thought Gavrikov and some of the other Kings defensemen played hard against him, which might not be a good thing if those teams play in the playoffs again. So
it just seemed like it's like I think we're all begging. Oilers fans are begging to put the foot down on the neck and carry those out.
Which ones?
Well, like they were in the game with LA,
yes,
right? But with Anaheim in particular, you're up 3-1. Don't look back. Why does that? Why, when you're watching that game, did you feel this is not over? Not at one point. And then boom, boom, boom,
Yeah, I think.
Now, that is a back-to-back, West Coast quick road trip after Christmas, right?
I think they got a little high on themselves yesterday, thinking, here we are, we're going to pound the crap out of the Ducks again. And Anaheim got back in it. Just to go back to Saturday, the game against LA, I didn't think either team was great. Really, the Byfield line won the game for LA. And Fogle had a really good game. I didn't think McDavid had a good game against Los Angeles. I thought there were times both teams looked like they were playing for the first time after a few days off. Okay, you get a point. But then, up 3-1 on Anaheim, a team that doesn't score and gives up a lot of shots, you should not lose that lead. And just sloppy play, not taking care of the front of your own net. Even Nurse trying to, he's not going to block that shot with his stick. If he went and tried to block it with his shoulder and it ticked off his shoulder and went in, it's like, okay, well, he's trying to get a lot of his body on it. Why is he waving his stick at that one and deflecting it in? And then just, a bunch of other errors along the way. It's just, they had a lousy afternoon against the Ducks.
Yep.
I just thought they had a lousy afternoon.
But
pretty much every player in some regard.
Back-to-back games on the West Coast coming off of Christmas. Coming off of 4 days away with your family, right? I know they're professional athletes, but some of this does carry over. And, I thought they were going to take that back, though, in the Anaheim game and finish that off and at least come back to Edmonton on a bit of a high.
Yeah.
But that was a bit deflating.
Well, I think now tomorrow's game is an important one because you don't want it to have 3 poor games in a row, right?
But okay, let me do something here too because we're going to talk about Skinner and the Oil Understood, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
And we got Scorigami
coming up in a few minutes.
Genius here, and Andrew Merriman coming up. In the last 2 months, okay, from October 30th to today, December 30th, The Oilers are 5th in the NHL with a 17-7-2 record. They're 5th in goals for. They're 4th in the power play. And their penalty kill, which started off dreadful, is now 7th in the NHL. That's over the last 2 months.
Since October 30th.
October 30th to December 30th. This team is playing exceptionally well.
Right.
Don't let these two games, and this is almost a message for the players as well. Throw that tape out. Just throw it in the garbage. Refocus. You're back home tomorrow. Finish this year off on a good note. This is a good team.
I would say overall, yes.
Yeah.
But I think there are some things we need to talk about.
Well, I got news for you. You're right. There's things on every team that you need to talk about.
Sure.
Right? We talked about it in the bullpen. Let's start with this. Goaltending. It's not the reason they're losing, that they lost those 2 games, but it's not good enough. We can all agree on that.
Sure.
Well, I think a lot of teams have that, from time to time. Yes, there will be goaltenders that have a higher save percentage, but they're all letting in a bad goal here and then.
Yeah, generally, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, I didn't think that either one of those games was a goaltending loss on the weekend, but you need an extra save along the way. I thought, pardon me, sorry guys, I've got a bit of a cold here. The first goal on Pickard wasn't great, and the Olay move by Emerson at the blue line really wasn't good. I mean, you can't check that way, so that wasn't good. You'd prefer the Strome goal at the end not to go in that way, but the flip side to that is Ducks could have had 4 or 5 goals in the second period, and Pickard made a lot of good saves. They just weren't good enough, pretty much top to bottom, the last 2 games. So now, can you recover and do something against Utah?
Which I think they will.
All right, we'll have the Oil Understood coming up just after 4 o'clock. We're going to dive into NFL scoregami. When we get back, we are in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm. The heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Visit them, jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Here's Zachary Kubish.
The NHL has fined the Dallas Stars $100,000 after they violated the collective bargaining agreement for practicing during the NHL's Christmas break. And there's 3 games tonight with the Rangers taking on the Panthers, Winnipeg hosting Nashville, and the Hockey Club battling the Kraken. While in the World Juniors, it's Germany up 2-1 over Latvia near the end of the third, and NFL Week 17 wraps up when the Lions kick off against the 49ers. We also got 7 games dotting the NBA slate, seeing the Cavs throw it down with the Warriors. On the other side of the break, Andrew Merriman from Scorigami joins Reid and Jay. I'm Zachary Kubish, and that was your Sports Update.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out. The grand opening sale ends soon.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
All right, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Hope you had a great Christmas, New Year's Eve. Tomorrow, we'll have the Reid Wilkins Show from 3 to 6, and then Tom and Hernan will take over at 6 o'clock tomorrow night for the Oil Stream pregame show to set up the Oilers and the Utah Hockey Club. New Year's Day, we're going to be off, right? No show New Year's Day.
That's correct.
Back at it on Thursday. Latvia has just scored to tie their game with Germany 2-2 with 13:05 to go in the third. You predicted a Latvian victory.
I told you in the break, I said Latvia is going to win.
All right. Time to crunch the numbers. This is going to be a fun segment. Crunching the numbers for Gallo LLP, Chartered Professional Accountants, where they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John at Gallo LLP if you'd like to discuss further how they can crunch your numbers and help your business grow. Visit their website, gallollp.ca, and see how Gallo LLP can help your business grow. I'm really pleased to speak with one of the people behind the incredible website, NFLscoreagami.com. This is going to be a fun segment. Andrew Merriman is checking in here over the audio line. Andrew, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for checking in. I don't know how many inquiries you get for interviews, but I just think this is such a cool website and such a fun way for people to engage with the NFL. I'll just kind of ask you generally, can you give us the story behind NFL Scoreagami? Who got it going? Who keeps it going? The inspiration, all that kind of stuff?
Sure. I mean, I guess I'll level with you. This is my first request for an interview, so I guess I'm not as popular as people might think. But yeah, I guess the story behind the website, I checked it yesterday, but I don't remember. I think it was in 2016. John Boyce made the infamous video on his YouTube channel, SB Nation at the time. I think it's East Secret Base now, where he basically made the board. Sometime after that, I was just curious what the board looks like now. And I Googled around, couldn't find it. So I figured, well, I'll build it myself. And from there, I kind of just kept on adding additional features and trying to figure out, like, oh, how many were there each year and stuff like that. And eventually I was like, well, I think other people want this information too, so I'll just make a website. And that's kind of where NFL Scoreagami came from.
Okay, so yeah, if people aren't able to look at this if they're driving or they're at work, it's basically a grid that has every possible score in the NFL. And if that score has happened, that the grid is filled in with a green square, and then you can click on it and get all those occasions of that score. And then if that score has never happened, it's white. So is it you now tracking this each week in the NFL for new scores to happen, or who keeps it going?
So it does it all automatically. I'm pulling live scores and I guess scores from games that have already happened, and it will have a database running in the back end that is basically just keeping track of that for me. So if I were to die tomorrow, this would run autonomously until something major changes in whatever's getting pulled from. So it's not me doing anything manually. It's mostly automatic, but I do occasionally have to come in and make a little bit of maintenance. But yeah, for the most part, it's all automatic.
Okay.
Now, Andrew, I just wanted to note that it doesn't list all possible scores. It lists the scores as, the highest scoring game in history has got to be 73 points, correct? Because that's as high as this grid goes.
Yep.
Okay.
If a game were to score more points, there was that Dolphins game. Dolphins Broncos last year, I think. I'm not sure who it was, where they almost scored more than 73 points. Had that happened, then the board would automatically increased in size.
Okay, so my main question, Andrew, and this is very broad. You take it however you want to go. Why? Why keep track like this, and why show games that have never scored? I'd like to, was this just a passion, or what's the reasoning behind Scoregami?
I mean, the reasoning is just that people find it fun. I mean, when I wrote the website, I was super interested in doing it, and I still am. But like I said, this all updates automatically. There's no input for me at all to keep this running. So it's not like a long time passion thing that I'm keeping track of every single week, every single day. Very much, it's kind of I set it running, and it kind of runs itself. But it is very much just a fun thing that people love and care about. And whenever you see a Scoregami, you'll see posts on Reddit, posts all over the news, like, "Hey, this is a unique score; it never happened before."
It is neat to say, yeah, that a score has never happened. Now, this is not just the National Football League history. This predates that. Is this the genesis of NFL and the teams that came prior to it being called the NFL?
So the data that I pull from is all the data on Pro Football Reference, and then I guess up to what is now I'm pulling any recent data is pulled from the NFL, so I'm not pulling XFL or anything like that data. But pretty much anything that is tracked on ProFootballReference.com is where my historical data comes from. That is mostly NFL. There are some other leagues, especially leagues that became the NFL or leagues that had teams that were merged into the NFL. So the AFL stuff is in there too. There are a few other leagues. I don't know that off the top of my head what they are, but they are included in that. But that is because those leagues are part of what is now the NFL.
Okay. Well, it's so much fun to just click on these little squares and see what's happening. There is a row for a team to have 1 point.
That is correct.
Now, you were in Canada, so you probably know we have what's called a rouge. Yeah, you can kick through the end zone or a team can concede. How is it possible for a team in the NFL to have exactly 1 point?
So it's really, I guarantee you, I'm sorry to all your reviewers, you will not understand this the first time you hear it. What has to happen is that, I guess if you notice also, it's not the entire one row. It is 6 and 8 or more. So it can't be anything other than that. Like you can't have a 5-1 game, for example. What must happen is that the first team must score a touchdown, and then when they're going for the extra point or for a 2-point conversion, they must get a safety in their own end zone, basically. So imagine basically you're going for the 2-point conversion, you're on the 2-yard line, and you run the ball 98 yards backwards into your own end zone. That scores 1 point for the defense.
Do you think this is a serious question? Do you think there's a possibility that, let's say, there's a team that's up, I don't know, 29-0, and they score a touchdown, and they just want to do it for the Scoregami? Like, do you think
that is the only way it will ever happen? And to me, it's very much like if the players want to do it, and you find someone crazy enough to want to do it, it'll happen. But that guy's probably going to get like a fine or something like that, because I don't know if they have like a keep the integrity of the game like rule in the players rule book. Because like that is just a very that's not good for your team. So like that, I guess, like I don't know if that's a thing, but like you need a player who just wants to be put in the history books. That's the way to do it.
What if you had a holder that you could say, or kickers? Kickers are odd people. What if you say he hit his head before the snap, and he thought the field was that way, and you could try and make up a story that this was not just a concoction to be on the NFL Scoregami page.
I don't think you could ever convince people that you didn't do it to make Scoregami, because you have to be so incredibly stupid to do it accidentally. Like the series of events that would make it happen accidentally without someone trying to do it is just so wild that it will never happen. But to do it on purpose, it could.
Okay. Yeah, that seems like the only way it might happen. So, and Jay and I, through looking at this, we've noticed there's somebody who does CFL Scoregami NCAA scoregami. I think there's some basketball scoregami as well.
Yeah.
Is that you guys or that people ripping you guys
no,
off?
I only run NFL scoregami. I have someone sent me an email a few weeks ago about one they were doing. I'll see if I can find it. Gaelic Games Hurling scoregami.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if I would post the link in the chat, but I don't think it's a link. I think it's just a picture. But yeah, like I occasionally get an email or a message of just like, hey, I made other sport scoregami. Like, here it is, and it's really fun to look at those.
So is this something that, betting sites have gotten a hold of? Is there an over-under on, some of these sites to say, because I don't even know, you can tell me this in your answer, but to say there will be, over-under 2.5 scoregamis this season. Is anybody doing that? And what is the frequency of a scoregami?
So I guarantee you some betting sites have do it. I believe I did see like a Super Bowl scoregami on one of those, like, I don't know, when you have a list of like possible things that could happen in the Super Bowl, like, is it going to be super scoregami? That was on a list that I saw once. So yeah, certainly betting sites have gotten it. The website does have a chance of scoregami feature, and I believe it starts the game around 5%. In my experience, that's pretty high. I think it's a little bit lower than that. I think that the chance of scoregami, it was coded by me, so it's not that good. So it's around 5% per game, but I think that's high. I think there's around 5 or 6 per year, and that obviously is going down very slowly over time, because as games get filled in, you have fewer games to fill in. So yeah, that's my experience. I would say if a betting site were to do it, I'd say 6 is probably a great number to pick for over under. But I'm sure that their models will be way better than anything I could do.
But the chances of a scoregami must have gone up when the NFL introduced the 2-point convert, though, initially.
Oh yeah, when that happened, it definitely did. Certainly, if you look through the history of the scoregami, you can. I don't remember which year it was, but you can see like the year that they introduced the 2-point conversion. The next year, there were a ton. There are a few different like break points where that happens. There was certainly the 2-point conversion. There was the year when there was a merger that basically doubled the number of games. So there were a ton of the year after that.
Okay.
There's another rule change. I don't remember what it was that caused a bunch. But I don't remember. Yeah, I can't recall what exactly that was.
Well, it's a super fun website, and it's fun to follow the Twitter account too to see what might be a scoregami and just some of the scores. Like even this 31-2 game on the weekend, you might think there's one.
Yeah,
no, that's the third time it's happened. Yeah,
third game that happened. You would never think so.
Is there a score that you most want to see?
So there are a few blank spots that I am shocked. One of them is 9-9. Has never happened. That's 3 field goals per side. Never happened. The one that I want to see most, though, is 7-8. Because that is a team in a 1-score game scoring a touchdown late and going for 2.
Wow. This is fascinating. I can't stop looking at this now. Now, am I reading this right? The score that has happened the most in the history of this data is 20-17.
That's correct.
Second highest score is 27-24.
Yep.
And the third highest being 23-20.
I'll take your word for that one. I'm not sure. I only looked at the top 2.
So that is just amazing. There are some too, and the row that has the 8 on one column is a tough one. The 5 is obviously very uncharted.
4 is there's only one game that's ended with 4.
10-4.
5. There's only a few with 5. I think that was 5 recently. But yeah,
this is amazing.
You can poke on this for hours. I've kind of already done the poking around. I've been looking at the site for 6 years. So, but I will occasionally find someone who exactly like you're doing is just they introduce it for the first time and they just keep staring at it for a few hours, and it's really fun to watch as the creator.
Well, hopefully there's more traffic from northern Alberta. Where are you based, by the way?
I'm in Boston.
You're in Boston. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us in Edmonton, Andrew. It's a fascinating website. It's a fun website. Thanks for telling us the story behind it, and Continued success with it. I know whoever looks at it falls in love with it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Right on. Andrew Merriman checking in, one of the guys behind NFLscoregami.com. So NFLscoregami.com.
Are you on the website still?
Yes.
Okay, click show count.
Show count. Oh, there it is.
And then click show gradient.
Oh.
And it shows you by, hot and cold, which numbers hit the most.
Right. Okay, so that's how you got 23-20s happened a lot. 24-21, 27-24 are very popular scores. And then you can click on a square and it'll show you the first time it happened and the most recent time it happened. And then you can click on that little window and look at all the games in which that score has happened.
Yeah, 11 is a hard number to hit.
Yes.
Either way. There's a lot of openings on an 11. If you see a score that ends in 11, there is...
might be on here.
A 50% chance that it's a scoregami.
So, for example, I just clicked on 31-15. It's happened 11 times. Most recently, January 16th, 2022. Bucks 31, Eagles 15. That would have been a playoff game.
So the highest scoring scoregami was 73-0. That happened in December 8th, 1940, as the George Halas-led Chicago Bears beat up on my Washington Redskins 73-0. That is a scoregami.
Yeah.
I want to see that happen again. I don't think it's just, once you look at this and you realize the history of what you're looking at, and if you click on the individual games, there is a lot of work put into this.
That game last year, Dolphins 70, Broncos 20. That's the only time that score has ever happened. Imagine that.
Well, and what I think is neat, too, on this website is when you scroll down, you can see this last week's game.
Yeah.
All the games are up there. And you can see that the Ravens beat the Texans 31-2. That score has only happened 3 other times in the history
I think
of
3 including that
or
one.
3 including,
yeah.
Sure. The Giants beating the Colts 45-33, which was a major screw-up by the Giants, by the way. We'll get into that. That was the second time that score's happened. History. Wow.
It's NFLscoregami.com. Very fun website. Great to have Andrew Merriman on the show to enlighten us a little bit on that. Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. NFL lives at Canadian Brewhouse. I guess Thursday Night Football's done, isn't it? Anyway, $1 off tankers of Bud Light and Budweiser. Details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. The oil understood for GCL Diesel when we get back.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
In life, it takes a village. From childhood to your golden years, we all need support. At Capital Care Foundation, we've built that village for our 2,100 seniors. Join us in creating a nurturing environment that feels like home and fosters community connections. Your donation makes a difference. Visit capitalcarefoundation.net today and become a vital part of our village. Because together, we can make every stage of life a shared journey. Be a part of the journey. Support Capital Care Foundation.
games in the NHL sees the Rangers taking on the Panthers, Winnipeg hosting Nashville, and the Hockey Club battling the Kraken. And the NHL has fined the Dallas Stars $100,000 after they violated the collective bargaining agreement for practicing during the NHL's Christmas break. And in the World Juniors, Latvia and Germany are tied at 2, nearing the end of the third period. About 5 minutes to go in that one. And NFL Week 17 wraps up when the Lions kick off against the 49ers, while 7 games dot the NBA slate, seeing the Cavs throw it down with the Warriors. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubish, and that was your Sports Update.
All right, thanks a lot for tuning in this afternoon. Along with Jason Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Zachary Kubish is here as well. We have Jay adorned in his Jaden Daniels t-shirt. We will talk about that exceptional young quarterback later on. I got a new Wolverine shirt for Christmas. Can you see this on the YouTube feed?
Oh, stand up. Take a bow. I didn't realize that was new. That's nice. Is that from your
I got
parents?
it for Christmas. Yes.
Wow.
Pretty much all my Christmas gifts are from my parents, Jay.
Well, you wouldn't let me buy you one.
Well, no, we decided we were not going to exchange gifts.
I think next year we will.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't have to.
I think we do.
Do we have to have some sort of a limit on it?
We have to have parameters.
Yeah. Because, I don't know.
I don't like buying gifts that are like a joke. You're like, haha, like gag gifts. You know, like a quacky duck or like a chicken, like,
Is that what they sell? Is that how the gag chickens
Remember
sound?
the store San Francisco?
I do remember the store San Francisco. Yes.
From
you
there.
would not like anything from San Francisco.
No. Remember they used to have stink bombs?
They sold stink
Those
bombs?
little glass vials that if you...
No way.
Yeah, and it would reek.
Why would you do that?
Because you're a 12-year-old boy.
Well, I guess, yeah, if you're a 12-year-old.
You know.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, Christmas gifts next year.
780-218-9999. If you want to text the EST inbox, you can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Jump into the Nasty Chat on YouTube. If you are there, give us a thumbs up as well. Encourage other people in your life to tune in, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up as well. I'll apologize. I am a bit under the weather with a head cold today, so I'm trying to limit my little side coughs and snotty nose sound effects. But unfortunately, I didn't make it through the holidays unscathed. What can you do?
What can you do?
Yeah, I'll be fine. 780-218-9999. We are going to dive into the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a proud partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. All right. So the Oilers went 0-1-1 on the weekend. They did not play well. I think they played worse in Anaheim than they did in LA, quite frankly. Jay was mentioning, since October 30th, they've been a pretty, fifth best record in the league?
Yeah.
Since October 30th, 17-7-2. So even with these two duds, still pretty good. Still a lot of things trending in the right direction. I would still say, and look, I'm talking big picture, I guess. Where is this team going to go? How good can they be? I mean, you can see the halfway point of the season on the horizon. What are we at, 34 games? Total 35?
Yeah, I was just looking at it.
36. Sorry, they played 36 games. So almost at the halfway point. I think we've seen, and this has plagued the team in other years as well, since McDavid and Draisaitl have been on the team. To me, they don't have a true second line. Now, a few things here. And I'm not for everybody out there, I'm not going to go down the path of who they lost over and over again. Okay, I'm just going to talk about who's on this year's team. We know how the roster wound up, how it did, and who they signed and all that kind of stuff. Draisaitl and McDavid, for the most part, phenomenal, I think. I mean, Draisaitl might score 60 goals. He looks excellent. McDavid, who I thought didn't have a great weekend, still having an incredible year. Hyman has certainly come on. So I think you have definitely 3 excellent forwards there. I mean, Hyman's up to 13 goals in 31 games, and he's still +7 after not doing much the first quarter of the season and then getting hurt. I'm still hopeful about Arvidsson. I think he's been a little more impactful since he came back from injury. And then in the top 6, you also have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Now, Nugent-Hopkins is a very good hockey player. He's had some very good seasons and moments for the Edmonton Oilers. But would you not say, and I'll ask this to the Nasties as well, would you not say Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' 5-on-5 season has left something to be desired?
It'd be hard to disagree with that.
At even strength, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has 12 points in 35 games. I'll say that again. At even strength, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has 12 points in 35 games. Darnell Nurse has 13 points at even strength. Matthias Janmark has 12. Podkolzin, who I don't really think belongs in the top 6, also has 12.
Connor Brown has 14.
Connor Brown is 4th on the team in even strength points after Draisaitl, McDavid, and Bouchard. So good for Connor Brown. So I think you'd like to see a little bit more from Nuge 5-on-5. And don't forget, he plays on a line with Connor McDavid most of the time. I guess when they go nuclear, he doesn't. He has to center the second line. But a lot of the time, he's on the ice with Connor McDavid. I guess if we want to have the standard, and I do have this myself, my God. So Germany pulled the goalie with the score tied. I guess because they need to...
No. Latvia went up. Latvia was up 3-2.
No, Latvia scored an empty netter to go up 3-2. Now Germany had kept their goalie out and just tied it 3-3 with 2:24. It must be something to do with the goal differential.
Do they have to win?
Or needing to just outright win. Yeah. So I didn't look at this whole
We'll pull it
stakes
again because I'm riding with Latvia here.
Jay wants Latvia to win. So, look, what's the one thing that I and others have criticized Podkolzin about? Well, he gets to play with Leon Draisaitl, and he doesn't have a lot of points, even strength. Well, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins gets to play with Connor McDavid and doesn't have a lot of points, even strength. Now, overall as a player, clearly Ryan Nugent-Hopkins touches more parts of the game. He's part of an excellent penalty kill, and he's still a key part of an excellent power play. But 5-on-5, he hasn't been great. So this is what I'm saying, that the Oilers don't have a true second line. You have McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman pretty much being themselves. Even though Hyman got off to a slow start, I think he looks like himself production-wise lately. And maybe even earlier in the season, you could say he was still playing well and working hard. He just wasn't able to score. Arvidsson missed a bunch of time with an injury. He's only played 21 games. I still am optimistic about him because of his career path. But then you have Nuge with kind of an underwhelming season 5-on-5, and the same with Podkolzin, and you have Jeff Skinner, who was supposed to be in the top 6, being a healthy scratch. So that's why I say, is there a true second line right now on this team?
No. Well, there is. There are players that play on the line.
There's always
they are not
physically
effective.
A set line.
They are not effective at all. I mean, you take away one, or heaven forbid, both of Draisaitl and McDavid, this team is the bottom third. I mean, that is just a fact. This team drives that. But the secondary scoring, it's been a problem for a while, wouldn't you say? Not just this season.
Well, other year. I don't think it was as big a problem last year.
You know, somebody said on the Nasty Chat that aren't the Oilers, don't they have a better record at this point than they did last year?
Well, of course they would.
Yeah, quite a bit better.
Yeah.
Right now they're 21-12-3. Last year, from early October to December 30th, today they were 17-15-1. So,
and at this time last year, the 16-game winning streak would have already been in process, wouldn't have it? In progress, pardon me. Sure it would have, because they didn't lose a game in January, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I think it started just before Christmas last year.
So they went on a bit of a tear. But, you know, Is this a question, Reid, of do you keep shaking things up? Do you keep trying to find that fit?
I'm going to get into that.
Okay.
But we want to get to some audio from today. First of all, Chris Knobloch was asked after practice today about scratching Jeff Skinner yesterday.
Well, we have a group that's been playing really well, and as you look at the players that we have, it's been a difficult decision whoever we took out. We've been taking out Derek Ryan, and you look before Christmas, we have a lead late in the game against Ottawa, who had been playing really well, and I trust him on the ice. Some other guys that might look to be scratches, but they're playing really well. So, I think it comes down to finding a role, having a spot on the team, and other guys doing a heck of a job on the penalty kill, 5-on-5, whatever it is. Just it was his turn.
All right, well, it was his turn. But here's and that's another one of the issues with Jeff Skinner. He doesn't kill penalties, and he's not on the top power play. So if he's not doing much 5-on-5, regardless of what line he is on, does he quote unquote deserve to be in there? And I know there's Derek Ryan came out. I'm sure other people would like other people to come out. But that's one of the big issues with Jeff Skinner. So if he's not making plays 5-on-5, he's not going to kill penalties. And again, that's what I was saying about Nugent Hopkins. We can criticize his 5-on-5 play. He's still an important part of the team. So anyway, a little bit there from the coach on Skinner being scratched. Here is Jeff Skinner himself on being taken out of the lineup yesterday.
I don't know. I mean, you always want to play as a player. I don't know. I think guys want to play, so it is what it is.
Are you aware of why you didn't play, in your communication with Chris? Is he do you feel like he's explaining to you what he wants you to do to get on the ice and play a bigger role, I guess?
Yeah, I think every player here is aware of their role and aware of what we want to do to be successful. He puts the best lineup out there to win the game. So as a player, you just do your job, and that's what I focus on.
All right. I don't think Jeff Skinner's saying anything overly shocking there from a player's perspective, but we wanted to give you the audio in case you're wondering what he said. Skinner was also asked about, you were brought in to be a top 6 player, and when you have been playing lately, you're not in the top 6. Here's what he said.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of good players here, a lot of depth, and guys have been playing well. But obviously, I don't know what our record is in the last little while, but it's pretty good. So that's just the way it is. I think it's a good team. There's a lot of good players.
Okay. Well, we gotta play the clip.
You do.
So, I mean,
does that sound like a player who's engaged? Now,
I think he's engaged, but I think. I mean, he said, "Well, of course you want to play." He's not going to come out and rip the coach. I mean, he said what you said. They have a pretty good record lately.
Yep.
They're 0-1 with him scratched, so he's got that in his favor.
But there's something deeper here, Reid. Skinner seems like the whipping boy for a lot of. He's not a bottom 6 player, really, right? Was he brought in to be a bottom 6 player? No. He was brought in to be on the second line, and it didn't work out early. Actually, early it did. They were doing all right on that second line. The team wasn't doing much, but I don't know. It seems as though he's fallen out of favor with the coach, right? Would that be safe to say, or do you think this is just I guess the counterpoint would be what you said, was that he's not as dynamic of a player as a Derek Ryan, or he won't get the leeway of a Ryan Nugent-Hopkins because he is valuable on the power play.
Okay, so this is a perfect time for me to bring up the tweet that I sent you earlier. Okay. Because, and somebody just brought it up in the nasty chat, basically saying that this coach doesn't like. No, I can't find this tweet I sent you. I'll have to get it off here. And I didn't see it, but someone has brought up that in one of the oil drops they put out in the summer, they came up with Skinner's name, and Knobloch brought up some other forward's name that they bleeped out, yada, yada, yada. I don't think Knobloch is reducing Skinner's ice time, though, as some sort of a vendetta. I think that we use the word trust a lot, right? Why do you play certain players? Well, you got to trust them. Skinner has the worst plus-minus on the team, if you like that stat. He's minus 11. Derek Ryan is minus 6, okay? A couple guys are minus 5, minus 2-ish. Most of the forwards are plus 4 or more, okay? This is a tweet from earlier today from Lance Lisowski, who covers the Buffalo Sabres for the Buffalo News, okay? So Speck wrote an article on Sportsnet about Skinner being scratched. Lisowski posted on Twitter about 3 hours ago, Jeff Skinner's at his best when he's making plays out of structure. Too much risk in his game. Tough to play that way on a cup contender like the Oilers. It's been a struggle for him since last December. So, has Jeff Skinner, has his play changed since he became an Edmonton Oiler? Or is this a player with warts in his game that the Oilers took a chance on, and he hasn't been able to avoid those warts most nights? Which is it?
I think it's the latter, that they took a chance on this. So this is saying that Skinner cannot play in a structured offense?
Well, here's what he said. Jeff Skinner's at his best when he's making plays out of structure. Too much risk in his game. Tough to play that way on a cup contender like the Oilers. It's been a struggle for him since last December. That's Lance Lisowski, who covers the Sabres.
Who would know a thing or two about him?
So he's seen him, and he says he's at his best when making plays out of structure. So almost like he can free. It would almost be like saying, it's almost like how Trey Ford has been criticized. He's great when he's running around and ad-libbing, but he can't actually run an offense.
Sure, that's a great parallel.
So this is kind of what Lisowski's playing about Skinner. He's got talent. What have I said about him all year? God, he loves the stick handle instead of just shooting the puck.
Well, then coach him up.
He's great at kind of trying to do something off book, but when they want to structure a breakout or structure an offense, does he fit into that as well?
Can't you figure it out? Can't the player figure that out?
You would hope so.
You would damn well think so, given what he's being compensated to do this job.
Now, having said that, though, like I've been saying about Bouchard, some players just are who they are. I mean, Jeff Skinner has played 1,041 NHL games the way he's played and been very well played for it. Now, he hasn't played a playoff game, which I don't think is only his fault. But is this player going to massively change at the age of 32 in this season with the Edmonton Oilers?
Well, then, obviously, if he's unable to adapt, which it doesn't seem like he is this just a swing and a miss from management?
Maybe, yeah.
Now, that might...
We'll see. I mean, last year, Connor Brown looked like a big miss.
Yeah.
And he was overpaid for last year once he got the games played bonus. He's actually getting that money this year.
Well, he was a miss.
Now he has a role on the team.
He was a miss. He just started turning it around.
Right.
And now he's curried good
as a third liner. He was supposed to be a top 6 player.
That's right.
But here's the thing: Connor Brown penalty kills.
That's right.
So again, with Skinner, if he's not scoring, what else does he do?
So what do you give him? One last shot?
Well, no. I think there's still a lot of season left. They're still going to try to work him in somewhere.
Yeah, but if it's a dud, if it looks like a duck and walks like a duck and speaks like a duck, then it's a duck. And what do you do if you've got a lame duck in the Skinner acquisition?
Well, they can't trade him and they can't send him down. So he's going to be on the team.
He's stuck here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I would try and get him up, on that second line.
So would you give him another chance in the top 6?
What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do?
Well, he could keep scratching.
He's a liability.
Him on the fourth line.
He's a liability other ways. You might as well try to get the guy scoring.
So see, you said something pretty
profound
and definitive. And some people are going to argue with that. Why are you rewarding a guy in the top 6 who's minus 11 and can go long stretches without checking or creating chances?
Because he's brought in to score.
Right.
He wasn't brought in to solve the defensive problems. So give him a chance. I mean, sure, there's some onus on players to do their defensive responsibilities or perform their defensive. But this was a guy that was brought in to score, to be a part of that second line. So was Arvidsson.
Right. So you'd keep shoving that.
I'd ram it
that
down there
peg into the
yes.
hole until it fits.
Until that thing circles up and gets in there. Yes.
780-218-9999. We'll get to some of your texts on this topic when we get back to the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Here's the Coop.
Three games in the NHL has the Predators meeting the Jets and the Kraken against the Utah HC. While the Rangers hit the ice with the Panthers, and just seconds ago, Latvia scored to win 4-3 in overtime over Germany in the World Juniors. And the Dallas Stars have been fined $100,000 for violating the collective bargaining agreement for practicing on Boxing Day during the NHL's holiday break. And the 49ers get set to face the Lions to wrap up NFL Week 17, while the NBA has 7 games, including the Nuggets, playing the Jazz. This sports update is sponsored by Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy uses the same locker room approach, trusted by the best in the game. Find them online at AdvantageSportMed.ca. A quick timeout before we return with the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
From our Sentinel Storage family to yours, wishing you and those you love a wonderful holiday season. A new year filled with an abundance of great health, much laughter, successes that make you smile and delight, and to be surrounded by people and places that make you the happiest.
Playmore Tables and Games.
Playmore Tables and Games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your bad game. Playmore Tables and Games.
Playmore Games.
The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level. Trackman golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit in-store or at thecanadianicehouse.com for details.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit GalloLLP.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Okay, so Latvia wins in overtime against Germany, so Germany will have to play in the relegation game, likely against Kazakhstan, I guess against either Kazakhstan or Switzerland. They play tomorrow. So that's why Germany pulled their goalie with the game tied, because I think they needed to win in regulation, right?
Yes. To get the full points.
Yeah.
See, thanks to the ESTV,
we were watching it live.
I would have never put that.
Well, Latvia also still plays again tomorrow against Finland. So Latvia's already up to 4 points.
I would have never put that into motion without the ESTV.
Yeah.
They were down 2-1. I thought Latvia was going to do it.
You had a lot of faith in Latvia.
By golly, Reid, they did.
So Latvia will make the quarterfinals, and I guess they could still finish third in their pool. I wonder if they could still even finish second if the United States beat Canada. Because Canada has 7 points.
Well,
Latvia has 4. Latvia beat Canada head-to-head. Right?
How would Latvia get to 7 points?
With a regulation win over Finland tomorrow.
So USA would have to beat Canada in regulation.
So just going off, because the tiebreaker is the first tiebreaker after points, obviously, is head-to-head points. And Latvia head-to-head against Canada got 2 points in that game, and Canada got 1. What a story. Good for them. So Germany's going to have to play in the relegation game. They don't yet know who they're going to play. All right, 780-218-9999 to text the ESTN box. You can also email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Are you buying or selling how Jeff Skinner is being handled? Are you buying or selling that the Edmonton Oilers do not have a true second line? Buying or selling presented by Damon Bunting, a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle is Damon Bunting Real Estate. What do you have for us, Jay?
Well, there's a lot of impassioned texts coming in about this topic of Jeff Skinner. McLovin wanted to clarify with what my comment was that he said, I think Skinner has a very calm personality, didn't sound disengaged to me. Could be. That was just my take. This one comes in. I would argue that the Oilers' offense is designed for the rush or off book, ad lib. And he skates well. So what's the disconnect here? That comes in from Randy.
Well, has he created a lot off the rush?
Hasn't created a lot of much, to be honest. But is the Oilers' offensive style run and gun?
No.
I mean,
with two guys, maybe.
You see so much of them on the power play. You assume that's
the
that's
power
a big part
play.
of their
If they
offense.
start playing road hockey, that's a little different. When they get forechecking and cycling, and you see how when it's a 5-man unit and the defensemen get involved and they're moving the puck around and exchanging positions and all that kind of stuff, that's structured. I mean, it looks freewheeling, but that's structured. Those are plays.
Yes.
Okay, I go up here. You're going to come this way. Am I going to drop it to you or am I going to keep it? Am I going to look cross seam? All that kind of stuff.
Jeff Skinner has a long history of being a good player on bad teams. So it should surprise no one that he's a bad player on a good team. That comes in from Marcel.
Well, that's been the knock against him, right? That he's never been in the playoffs. So now, it's not all his fault that a team doesn't make the playoffs. I think just for Skinner, is he a good enough? And we're talking a lot about one guy here, but I guess that's what it's like in this market. Is he a good enough all-around hockey player? Well, we know the answer. He really isn't.
No.
I mean, there's a reason Matthias Janmark or Corey Perry or those guys don't get scratched, even though they might not
players.
Score. Right.
There's not much of that in Skinner's game. There should be more heat on Knobloch for his inability to assemble balanced lines. Say what you want about Skinner and some of the other forwards. There is still talent on the team, and Knobloch is unable to unlock it. I wonder if he will be the coach by the time the playoffs start. William, well, he will be.
I would think he will be. And as Jay said, the Oilers are 17-7-2 since October 30th when they started to play better. I think their record is their record. There's a reason it is what it is. I do think we have to separate the last 2 months from the first month. I do want, and I rarely do this because I always think the lines change all the time and go out there and play well, you're probably going to be fine. I'm wondering, though, if it's time to take Nugent Hopkins away from McDavid.
Sure.
Okay. Arvidsson played that one game when Nuge got sick right before Christmas, had a good game. What if they rolled out, just to see what would happen, Arvidsson with McDavid and Hyman, gave Nugent-Hopkins back to Draisaitl, and then I guess you keep Podkolzin there because Draisaitl seems to want to play with Podkolzin.
I'm all for it. I'm all for changes, small changes to get players going. Once they're going, and off the like, Nuge is just snake bit at some point. Like there's that goal he scored in LA was gorgeous. That was a
great
classic
shot.
Nuge goal.
Power play goal.
Yeah, power play. But get him going on the maybe that's what the second line needs. Right? So are you in agreement or disagreement that Knoblauch has been mismanaging those lineup pairings?
I don't think he's mismanaging the lines,
but he is stubborn on that top line.
Yes,
that is clear.
Now, is that a case of though McDavid gets the players he likes before Draisaitl gets the players he likes, and now Draisaitl has a player that he likes?
But you can't tell me that you show McDavid these stats of Nuge and Hopkins production 5-on-5 and say, okay, this is now a short leash. You better start producing or else something's going to give. Right? I mean, for the betterment of the team, to get Arvidsson going, to get Nuge going, and who knows, maybe you could elevate Skinner to that line and see what happens there. But I know, yes, then we talked about that on a prior show, that players do have a say in who their line mates are. Players of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl's caliber.
Right. Yeah, and I don't think it's that they're walking into the coach's office and say, okay, here's my line, coach. But for Draisaitl to praise Podkolzin to the extent that he has, and for Podkolzin to have remained on Draisaitl's line to the extent that he has when they don't go to the McDavid and Draisaitl together option, that is telling. But what if you put Nuge with Podkolzin and Draisaitl? I mean, now this was several years ago.
Well, then who's going up to the first line?
Arvidsson.
You're going to put Arvidsson.
Arvidsson with McDavid and Hyman.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
I still would be reluctant to put Jeff Skinner up there. I know he was brought in to play that role.
I would still keep Skinner with Draisaitl and see if you can get some chemistry going there and take Podkolzin down the lineup. If you're going to do that, if you're going to do a big shuffle.
There's an issue there with which ways guys shoot. I mean, Arvidsson would have to play his off wing. Podkolzin would likely have to play his off wing. But I'm just saying, I mean, I'm sure Draisaitl would be thrilled to have Nuge with him because there's a predictability. Even though we'd like more production from Nugent Hopkins, there's a predictability and intelligence with which he plays that other high-end players appreciate. Okay? Draisaitl seems to appreciate what Podkolzin can do. Some of us maybe not as much, but Draisaitl's the one on the ice.
And don't forget, Draisaitl's got 39 points, 5-on-5. That is leading the Oilers.
Who's that?
Draisaitl.
Yeah. Draisaitl's having a phenomenal season.
Career year, probably.
Might score 60 goals.
Unbelievable.
So, all right. So let's say let's say they go with my two lines: Arvidsson, McDavid, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, Podkolzin. I would like to see Henrique, Brown, and Janmark play a series of games together. So then you're still left with Jeff Skinner on the fourth liner being scratched
or up.
So you'd put him up.
I would because that's what he was brought in for. And if you're going to give all these other, Kapanen and Podkolzin these chances to perform with Draisaitl, well, I got news for you. Draisaitl's pretty damn good.
Yes.
Why don't, now that they've had some time together, put Skinner back up there, and like you say, maybe bring Nuge down. Make that second line something to take note of. Because there's nothing there right now other than Leon.
Well, see, here's the thing. And I say this all the time. I think any coach would be foolish to never play McDavid and Draisaitl together.
No.
You got to find ice time for that line. After a PK, after an icing, Knoblauch said that one game, maybe look when the TV timeouts are going to be, get them a shift together. Any coach is going to do that. We've seen 4 coaches here in Edmonton, or 5, however many, coach that way. But if we're talking big picture about the Oilers being a really, really good team that could win a championship, then it'd be great to have McDavid centering one line, Draisaitl centering another line, and then a pretty good third line like Henrique, Janmark, and Brown, if they can get back to or near the level they were in the playoffs.
It would be amazing to try and find out, or see if you could find out, Of these 39 points that Leon has scored 5-on-5, how many of those came when it was the nuclear option?
Well, you'd have to go look through
it would take some work,
Yeah,
but
you'd
I
have to
bet you
look at-
it's a high amount.
So, but here's the thing. So, if you're coaching against the Oilers and you're like, oh my God, there's McDavid's line, there's Draisaitl's line. Now this Henrique line's going to go out there and be pests. Oh, and okay, the fourth line isn't as good, but friggin' Corey Perry, as opposed to, well, McDavid and Draisaitl are together. We need to survive those 20 minutes because we can kick the crap out of them in the other 40. That's really the story for the Oilers the last few years. Either they have guys who can force the play outside of McDavid and Draisaitl, or they don't. Because if you have to put McDavid and Draisaitl on the same line against other really good teams, they're going to be able to survive those 20 minutes they're on the ice together.
Well, it's like
most of the time.
Any sport, the more depth you have, the more dangerous you are, right? So yes, use the time now to develop and find the sweet spot for that second line.
Okay, so is that why you're saying,
Yes.
to get back to Jeff Skinner,
yes,
you'd say, okay, man, you're probably a little embarrassed.
Let's go.
You'd say,
saddle up.
I don't want to have to sit you out again.
Yes.
You're not paid $3 million to sit in the stands.
Go play beside the greatest player in the game right now.
You came to Edmonton to finally get in the playoffs. Show me how bad you want to do it.
Yes. Motivation, leadership.
Right.
That's what coaches are supposed to do. Ro Nelson writes, it is biased by a coach that is supposed to be a leader and believe in his players and build a team where people feel valued and respected. He did it to Kane last year and again to Skinner this year.
Okay.
Rip City Step. Reid, serious question. When Dry is away from McDavid, are they not using Dry as a shutdown center? Rico line isn't going to do that from what I have seen.
Well, that's a fair point because Draisaitl's so good all over the ice this year.
No, he is doing well. Where was these ones here? Okay. Yeah, this is true. I highlighted this one. Really bad game by Emberson and Stetcher yesterday. No way the Oilers are going far with those two guys on their back end. Comes in from Malted Matt.
And Jode says Knobs won't change the lineup. He bet he still plays Stetcher tomorrow. Okay, everybody's has to remember, too, is there are no extra defensemen on the lineup. Travis Dermott and Josh. Well, Dermott got claimed, didn't he? Who claimed Dermott? I don't even remember. Was it?
It was.
Who was it again?
They just played the.
They lost to the Wild, and then the Wild.
Yeah, the Wild claimed him.
Yeah.
But I would agree that I think they will try to do that. I think they'll try to upgrade on Stetcher. That'll be something before the deadline. I think with Emberson, they got Emberson to develop him. He's a younger player with potential, and I think he's going to play and be given a chance to improve.
This comes in from Randy. Isn't Leon centering the second line? Shouldn't a superstar be able to carry a second line?
Yes.
Or what second line do we have? If Leon has to play with Connor, this always confuses me.
Well, that is another good point. And Draisaitl is having a fantastic season. But if you're that good, how much of it...
Well, shouldn't you be able to get the best out of your line mates?
Right.
Right? I think that's what that says. Is that happening? Or is this... Because there hasn't been a revolving door on the top line, unless Hyman, when he was hurt.
Right.
But there seems to be this revolving door around Leon.
Right. So
who's the problem?
Well, I don't think Leon's the problem, but I understand that question.
Yeah.
That if you're that good, you make the players around you a lot better.
Way better.
Right.
Interesting point.
Yeah. Now, putt goals, and he's had his chances from Leon. He hasn't always finished them.
Wow. People are fired up here, Reid.
Well, we're going to have fired up a little bit later on, so we'll make it part of that segment. Of course, portions of this hour are presented by the Canadian Brewhouse. NHL lives at Canadian Brewhouse. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. You can win game tickets and 2 tickets to a surf and turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. We are going to have fired up. We are going to have my top 3. And, hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Yes, thanks for inviting me, Jay. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube if you're engaged in the nasty chat. I know the routines for people listening are a little different over the holidays, but we still want to get to 100 thumbs up every show. We will have the Marmot Basin Ski Report when we get back. Here comes Coop.
The NHL has fined the Dallas Stars $100,000 after they violated the collective bargaining agreement for practicing during the NHL's Christmas break. And there's 3 games tonight with the Rangers taking on the Panthers. Winnipeg hosting Nashville and the Hockey Club battling the Kraken. And Latvia beat Germany 4-3 in overtime in the World Juniors, while Slovakia got past Kazakhstan 5-4 in overtime earlier today. And NFL Week 17 wraps up when the Lions kick off against the 49ers, while 7 games dot the NBA slate, seeing the Cavs throw it down with the Warriors. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring, proudly family-owned and operated for 33 years. Paramount Flooring is your full-service flooring and tile supplier. Whether you're a homeowner, renovator, or builder, Paramount Flooring provides the flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Visit their showroom that's open 7 days a week at 10707 184th Street. Paramount Flooring. Flooring for the life that you live. Brian Rowe joins Reid and Jay on the other side of the break. You're on the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Okay, hope you're having a great afternoon. Are there still Boxing Day sales going on? For sure there are, right?
Absolutely.
At the furniture store, how long would you have a Boxing Day sale?
Well, Sit and Sleep has extended theirs, just like we would have. You'll try milk that thing as long as you can, Reid.
Right.
So generally, New Year's is this week, and then extended through this weekend.
Oh, yeah. But you make it sound like you just thought of it.
Yeah.
Well, we were just going to have it on Boxing. Oh, you know what? We're going to extend it because we love you so much.
Hey, guess what? The manager's away on holidays. We're going to extend this.
Yeah, we're such crazy employees.
We might be fired when he comes back, but we're going to extend
Would
it
you talk
anyways.
that way when you talked about sales?
All the time. No.
It is time for the Marmot Basin Ski Report. Ski for half price every day with the Marmot Escape Card. Great deal, only $99. You got to go to skimarmot.com or get 4 lift tickets for the family for only $329 at skimarmot.com. A great deal for families and only available online. Brian Road checking in. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, fellas, and you?
We're doing great. Good to see you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that kind of fun stuff. But what did you get up to last week?
Last week, well, it was a pretty busy week. Christmas always is, and I'm busy up at the ski area. That's our busiest time of the year, Christmas, and it's been good. A lot of people have come out enjoying the weather. It's been warm, right? Conditions are great, so it's been a really solid week, and we're having a lot of fun.
Now, speaking of conditions, I mean, it is. I mean, I guess at altitude up where you are, warmer weather that's down in the town side of Jasper may not affect you guys as much, or does it affect the snow conditions?
Yeah, the weather can be funny in the mountains, and there's a phenomena that we get quite often when it's colder. And that's called a temperature inversion. So what happens is warmer air rises, the cold air gets trapped in the valley. And, people who have been in the mountains in the wintertime, they may have seen this from time to time where you get this cloud layer very low and it looks overcast, and you start driving up to the ski hill, for example. All of a sudden you pop out of the clouds, it's sunny, and it can be up to like 20 degrees warmer. We haven't had to worry about that too much because the temperatures have been balmy, both in Jasper and up at Marmot for the last really most of the winter here, with the exception of a few days in November. So it's been pretty warm weather.
I wanted to ask you, I believe it was the week before Christmas, the knob chair had opened. So what are the reviews? What are people saying? How's that been going?
Yeah, it's been going great. We have a new chair up there. We talked about that, I think, last time we chatted. And people are real excited about that. It gets them to a much higher elevation. Still early in the season, so there's just a few areas in the knob that are yet to open, but that's been pretty exciting for people. And it's all advanced terrain up there. There's still what I would call a kind of strong novice, low-end intermediate run down. So you don't have to be an expert to get up there, but that's mainly expert terrain for sure.
It's interesting you mentioned intermediate or novice. We had a listener that sent in a message and saying, "I'm new to skiing. I have skied Sunridge here in Edmonton, or can I go to a place like Marmot Basin and not stick out like a sore thumb or not be in the way of people?"
Right.
So what would you say to the new skier, and how easy is it to learn how to ski in the mountains?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. There is a misperception that when you go to the mountains, you're skiing these, big terrain and steep runs. I'm not ready for it yet, but it's actually quite the opposite. In the mountains, what we've got is we have so much acreage to deal with. We actually have a run called Old Road, which is about a 5% grade. So it's very, very shallow. And that's I'd say about a kilometer long. So we've got some really good learning terrain up there. Now, in the city of Edmonton, you've got Sunridge, you mentioned that. You've got Edmonton Ski Club, Rabbit Hill, Snow Valley. These are all fantastic places to, cut your teeth, so to speak, pardon the expression, and learn how to ski initially. But you can do that in the mountains as well. And especially at Marmot, we've got some really, really good beginner terrain, great all packaged up lesson programs. A lot of people think, boy, if I'm going to the mountains, that's pretty tough. But we've got some great terrain for beginners.
Well, and I know that when we go there, probably the first two runs at least are on your, what I would imagine, it's got to be one of the biggest bunny hills or going in the mountains. I forget the name of the run, but it's got its own chairlift.
Yeah, schoolhouse you're talking about.
Yeah, the kids love that.
Great learning area. And so I would encourage people, look, if you want to try skiing or snowboarding for the first time, the Edmonton ski areas are wonderful. They've got great packages, but don't be discouraged about coming to the mountains as well. Maybe you take a few lessons in the city first. We've got a package, as do most ski areas. We're going to get your lift ticket, your lesson, all your equipment, all bundled together, and some excellent ski pros. We've all got very highly qualified ski pros. So learning how to ski or snowboard is not nearly as difficult as a lot of people may think. And I got to tell you about a really good deal. So we have a great deal every single day for first-time skiers, but on January 19th, now this is the middle of our Jasper and January festival, is what's called the Never Ever Days. And it's a national program. It's run by the Canadian Ski Council. So you have to go to their website, just Google Canadian Ski Council, register for it, $25. You get a 2-hour lesson, you get your lift ticket, and you get all your equipment. So that's our deal at Marmot Basin. So on January 19th, that's a great day to do it, but you can do it any day of the week, all season long.
Did you say $25?
$25, yeah.
For everything, and that's on a Sunday yet? On January 19th?
Yeah, about the cost of a good burger. You'll get a full day of skiing and a lesson and the whole thing.
That's incredible. Well, Brian, thank you for joining us here. Is there anything going on up at Marmot for the New Year's or New Year celebration?
Sure, we're skiing and snowboarding. That's what we're doing in Marmot. But seriously, the events that are going on for New Year's are all in the town site. So come up on New Year's Eve, look up Jasper Park Lodge. They always put on a great party, and in town, the local pubs, there's always something going on. Enjoy yourself, and then spend New Year's Day working it off, so to speak, on the slopes. So when people are coming up to the mountain and going skiing and snowboarding, that's what they want to do. They want to spend their time on the slopes. But in the evenings in Jasper, there's lots going on. Just Google Jasper or go to jasper.travel and surf around in there, and you'll find all the goings on for New Year's Eve.
Right on, Brian. Thank you for joining us, and stay safe out there on the slopes. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Right on. Brian Rode helping us out with the Marmot Basin ski report. So ski for half price every day with the Marmot Escape card. $99 at skimarmot.com. Also at skimarmot.com, 4 lift tickets for the family for only $329. Great deal, and only available online. We're going to have Brian on once a week as long as you can ski.
Yeah, I think till the end of March.
That's when we're doing it too? Okay. Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
Take my word for it.
He's great. He's great. 780-218-9999 to send us a message to the EST inbox. The nasty chat going well today. Many of you discussing with each other, which is fine. Mostly Oilers stuff. If you are taking us in on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. There's only one thumb. That's why I've started saying thumb up. Hit the positive thumb.
It's like our New Year's talk.
Hit the upward tilted thumb. Yes.
Happy New Year's, Reid.
So there's people who have been listening to us we've been on the air 4 months now. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Jay and I both have our grammatical and linguistic, what would it be? We're particular.
Particularities, yeah.
We're particular. We enjoy good grammar. We enjoy interesting language. We enjoy proper word usage and sentence structure, which, granted, we do not always execute, but sometimes that happens in the course of a conversational type show. But if there is time to plan or write something, you should say it properly. And we really don't tolerate words being used incorrectly or made up words. You've often told the story of a colleague you had that would say, well, supposedly it's supposed to be plus 17 on Friday. No. There's no such word as supposedly. You're not making an innocent mistake. You didn't just accidentally mispronounce something once. So I was saying to Jay earlier today, tomorrow is New Year's Eve. And if you want to wish somebody a pleasant 2025, it is Happy New Year. It is not Happy New Year's. I guess you could say Happy New Year's Eve, in which case you have to put the Eve on the end.
You must.
After saying year with an S. Happy New Year's, if someone were to wish me Happy New Year's, I would say which year?
Which year would you pick?
Yes, which year are you wishing me to be happy in? That's new. Yes, that's how difficult of a person I can be.
I'm just thinking back to, let's say, in our younger days where you may have been at an establishment for New Year, New Year's Eve, and people would say "Happy New Year's."
That's incorrect.
That is. Imagine if the DJ is just like, we gotta redo this. Nope. Roll it back.
Give us a pause the celebration, everybody.
Grammar police are here. God bless that. That's great. We have some more texts if you wanna.
Let's do a couple now, and then. We may make Fired Up at 5 and move the game of the night back.
Okay. Let's see here. Bones says all 3 veteran signings in 1933 and 53.
So Henrique,
Arvidsson, Skinner,
and Skinner.
Jeff Skinner,
not the goalie.
Not the goaltender. Have been underwhelming. This is a good point here. But the record is good, and the froth they bring could win a Stanley Cup. Worth holding on to for now. That's a good point.
That is okay, good. We're not talking about a terrible team.
No.
We're not. We're talking about a team that is highly, highly likely to be in the playoffs. We're talking about an era in which the hope is this team is going to win the Stanley Cup at least once. I think Henrique's playing better lately. I still remain optimistic on Arvidsson, and I think he's been playing better since the few games back from injury. But again, to go back what I said to earlier, Arvidsson and Henrique can still give you something if they don't score. The question about Jeff Skinner is, what does he give you if he's not on the score sheet?
That's his liability. That's his problem.
Right.
Is that there's nothing else there. If you're not producing offensively, well, you said it. Leads the team in plus minus, and with minus 11, he's not on the PK. He's not taking draws. He's not on the power play.
Right.
You better produce 5 on 5.
He might be on the second power play when he does play. They don't get a lot of ice time.
They do not see the ice all that much. Yeah, that's a fair point. This one came in. I wanted, give him the shirt. We will get into this a little bit more in the 5 o'clock hour, but really happy for the glue guy that Jaden Daniels made the playoffs. Does Jay think he will wind up being better than Lamar Jackson? That comes in from Hubert.
Wow. Better than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has won 2 MVP awards?
Yeah. If Jaden Daniels proves to be better than Lamar Jackson, I would be very happy about that. Do I think? I think they're different players.
Yeah, and they're both quarterbacks, but is it always fair to compare?
Jaden Daniels, I would say, has been, I guess he's been quite a nice surprise for Commanders fans because of his capabilities offensively. And I don't just mean, he's fast and he can throw the ball far. No, he is very composed in the pocket.
Yes.
Composed on the sideline, never too high, never too low, which is what you need out of a quarterback. But he can get you out of situations with his legs.
Yeah.
He can put the ball on spot with his arm. He is a complete package. And I love his composure. That's what you do not see out of a young quarterback like that.
He hasn't, when I've seen him play, and you've seen him play way more, but he hasn't looked like a rookie to me. When I've seen Caleb Williams for the Bears play, he's looked like a rookie to me, especially on Thursday Night Football when the Seahawks held him to 3 points.
Yep.
Now, they had a chance, and I don't know if you watched the game, he made a couple of plays on 4th down to keep the drive. Even those plays were almost like he wasn't sure. He ran and he chucked it, and there was a guy there.
Yeah, it just happened to happen.
Like if they, so, and by the way, who would have thought at the beginning of the season that your favorite team would eliminate my favorite team from the playoffs?
I wouldn't have wanted that. It just so happened.
Because of the weird strength of victory tiebreaker that the Rams were using. And if that game would have been in a tie, it also would have eliminated the Seahawks, which would have been even funnier to talk about. That if somebody would have said, when we started on September 3rd, if somebody would have said, these Commanders will eliminate the Seahawks with a tie on Sunday Night Football, because we would have checked the schedule and said, well, they don't play each other.
Yeah.
And then we said, and the Commanders don't even play on Sunday night.
Yeah.
So they're going to get flexed in, and a game is going to end in a tie, and that's going to eliminate Seattle. How is that even going to be possible?
This would have been that would have been a hard.
That
one
would have
to
been quite a
navigate.
bet to come. You couldn't even come up with that.
I don't
bet.
think you could unless you're Zoltar. But you are.
Well, you've accused me of being Zoltar. I'm gonna ask you more about Jaden Daniels when we get back.
Okay.
Further to that, because I don't think the Lamar Jackson comparison is. I was going to say it's not relevant. I guess it's relevant, but I don't know if it's the most appropriate discussion to have about Jaden Daniels. I think there's another one that I want to have with you.
Okay.
780-218-9999 is the ESTN box. If you're in the Nasty Chat on YouTube, remember to give us a thumbs up. Tell 2 friends or family members or colleagues to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well. Is Dusty going to eat the fish? Because we did hit 11,000.
Oh, it's a controversy. Because they don't know when that happened. Maddie says that he was texted like 11:55 and said they got it. I mean, it's well over that now. Coob, what do you know?
Well, yeah, what do you know, Coob?
Well, all I know is that there's no way to really prove that we got to it before the threshold of midnight on Boxing
Well, not now.
Christmas Eve.
Unless somebody was physically holding or screen grabbing the picture of the account at 11:59, then no.
Yeah,
but not everything registers instantaneously either.
And that's the thing. I think Dustin's going to have to do the good thing here and put on his big boy pants and eat the pickled herring because it did happen.
He's never had a pickled item before?
No.
Does he have pickles?
Well, I think he's eating pickles.
But he doesn't probably like pickles.
Do you want me to bring in pickled herring for us tomorrow? Just to try?
I've had pickled herring.
Okay, I'll bring in pickled herring just so we could stand in solidarity with Dusty and say,
All right.
look, pal, it ain't that bad. If we can do it, you can do it. If we can change, you can all change.
See, I'll talk about this when we get back to it. We got a break, and we got the Coob with the sports update. More of your messages as well. My top 3 is coming up. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of Injury Law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to JamesHBrown.com.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
In just a moment, the Panthers and Rangers go at it before the Predators take on the Jets. And after that, it's the Hockey Club meeting the Kraken with the Oilers back in action tomorrow against the Utah HC. Elsewhere, the Dallas Stars have been fined $100,000 for breaking the collective bargaining agreement rules for practicing during the NHL's Christmas break. And getting underway on the court, it's the Knicks and Wizards battling. And the Bulls throwing it down with the Hornets, seeing 7 games around the association. NFL Week 17 wraps up when the 49ers and Lions kick off tonight. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Oh, thanks, Coop. Great job with the sports update. Good to see you. He's Zachary Kubish. This guy's Jason Milne. I'm Reid Wilkins. Thanks for checking out the show. Keep clicking that thumbs up on YouTube. And, of course, you can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The inbox is 780 for a text, 780-218-9999. T-Man says, sure hope McDavid isn't saving himself for the Four Nations. If all he cares about is winning, let's see it for the Oilers before the Four Nations Cup. I would doubt that he or any player would be saving themselves for the Four Nations. I think McDavid didn't have a great weekend. I think overall his season has been quite good.
Yeah. No complaints from Oilers fans.
So before we get back to the football discussion about Jaden Daniels, your favorite quarterback, is he now your favorite player in pro sports?
Ooh, he's up there.
He's up there.
He's climbing the ranks as we speak.
So Dustin Nielsen, and I didn't know this about Dustin until, around the time I started working here and started getting to know Dustin a little better. He's not a foodie.
No.
He's not interested in trying a lot of foods. He likes what he likes. So we had this bet or standard or whatever it was going to be that if we got to 11,000 subscribers on YouTube by Christmas, by midnight on Christmas Eve,
I believe
he would eat a pig. Did he agree to that, or was that kind of just forced on him?
No, he announced that on one of the morning shows.
Okay, just clarifying that this wasn't people just sort of badgered him into doing.
Well, I'm sure there was some badgering.
There were some badgers or other animals around.
It might have come around the time that he tried a shrimp off of a shrimp ring for the first time. With the marinara.
And did he like it?
He liked it.
So, but here's why I'm kind of torn about it, because I like trying food.
Yes.
Certainly as an adult, which I've been a one for a while now, I've been more adventurous with trying stuff. People know about my allergy concerns, so that does limit me to some extent. But usually now, if I say I don't like something, I've probably tried it or something close enough.
Sure.
So that's why part of me thinks, okay, Dustin, you're I don't know how old he is. He's over 40.
He's 42. He's or 43.
He's 43. So part of me is, Dustin, there's more to life than the food you've been eating since you were 4.
Than chicken fingers.
Right. Why not try something else? Why not just try something else? Like, what's the holdup? What's the problem? Like, you're not the worst thing that'll happen is you'll try something and you'll think, oh, that tastes disgusting. Now I know never to have it again.
Yep.
But then the other side of me thinks he likes what he likes. Don't bug him. Don't give him a hard time. Don't make him feel bad. It's his mouth. It's his body. It's his sustenance. Let him decide what he eats. I'm torn between saying, Dustin, allow yourself a little more adventure and experience in the culinary department, and also maybe saying to me and the rest of us, just quit bugging the guy. Don't make him feel bad for what he eats.
Let's just slow that down, because it's not like somebody came in here and, held a gun to his head and say, you have to eat pickled herring. These are all things that he has created. So if you didn't want to eat pickled herring, I'm sorry, but you should have just not said anything.
I was a little surprised. I don't know if he's watching, because he's still off, right? He's back in BC. But he could be tuning in, and maybe he's rolling his eyes or getting angry at us. I was a little surprised at our Christmas party when we went to the taco place.
Yes.
And we got a little appetizer plate of regular nacho chips. And what was it? A little variety of 4 or 5 salsas?
Yeah, hot sauces, salsas, and then guac.
And he didn't want to try any of the sauces.
No.
I was a little surprised. I mean, I can get it with some foods. I like sushi, but I still like I'll get sashimi, so it's the raw, but it's on rice. Or is that the nigiri? Anyway, but if it's just a slab of raw fish, I'd sooner have a little bit of rice with it. Yeah. I get it. Some people you wouldn't want to try something raw, even if you're adventurous. You just might have your lines. But to me, a salsa with a chip is not that far outside the box.
It's not that adventurous.
Like, he didn't want to, and I finally said, Dustin, if you want to try one of these, this is the best one. Because remember, there was was it a peach one or something?
Yes.
That I thought was excellent.
Mango habanero.
Right, and it actually wasn't that hot.
No.
And I thought it was excellent. And because I tried all of them, and I thought that one was the best one. So I said, Dustin, this one's really good. And it's kind of a little different. Like, it's not going to totally remind you. And he did try it and said, well, it's okay. But I got the sense he was trying it reluctantly. So then I felt a little bit bad about that. So
Sure.
It's like, I don't want to pressure a guy into eating something. I don't like it when people do that to me.
Yeah, this isn't what we're about. We're not here to make this a spectacle.
But then again, the other side of my brain is, it's like, hey, I just caught this raw swordfish and gutted it. I want you to eat its raw genitals.
Yeah.
I would say, like, it's a chip with salsa.
Here's the thing. Here's my take on it, is that it's associations, word association or species association, that really
That's a good point.
sends him over the top. When you said mango habanero salsa.
I didn't even tell him. I just said this one's good.
Right, but he probably would have known with the mango.
Okay.
I don't like mangoes. He's probably never tried a mango. They are delicious. They are delightful. They're a pain in the ass to get to and to eat, but they're good. But he probably associated that with, ooh, I don't like that, right? Pickled herring, I'm sorry, but it doesn't exactly have the name cachet as sweet potato fries.
Right.
It's easier.
Would he eat sweet potato fries?
That I'm not sure of. I'm sure if there was a nice bowl of gravy or ketchup or mayonnaise or maybe a mayo chup, yes.
Okay, so what does he eat? He'll eat breaded chicken.
Loves chicken tendies.
Does he like fries?
Yes.
Does he like burgers and chicken burgers?
He loves a blackened chicken burger. That is probably one of his go-tos.
He'll eat a hot dog. Does he eat steak?
I would imagine.
Will he eat like a chicken breast?
Oh, yeah.
Would he eat a chicken breast in mushroom sauce?
No, probably not.
Really?
Probably doesn't like mushrooms. I'm just guessing.
Oh, okay. Would he like gravy, a plain gravy on something?
Yes.
Okay. Does he eat salad? Caesar's. Sorry, guys. Caesar salad would be a no, do you think?
That's a good
Green
question.
salad? Like, does he eat vegetables?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
How come?
I don't know. He's just
does he eat fruit? Will he have an apple or an orange?
That's a good question. I think he would. At one point, I saw him eating. I believe it was carrots.
Okay,
like a little bit of a healthy lunch
That's
choice.
good.
Carrots with some ranch dip and some celery. So he's not opposed to all things. I just think, well, here's what I know. He will gag and possibly throw up on air when he has to eat the pickled herring.
But it seems to me, and see this thing, I respect.
It's a texture thing too with him. That's a major
and I'm
point.
like that with some things.
I am
That's
too.
part of my mashed potato thing.
Yeah.
And I get that as well. But he has denied foods that would have, like, he's turned away foods that would have vastly different textures. So he can't just say it's a texture thing for everything.
Well, no, because if you eat chicken, I mean, that has its own texture, right? A steak has its own texture. I don't think he likes the perceived sliminess or the,
right
of seafoods.
But I guess that's why I would say to him, Dustin, you have a mental hang-up.
Oh, it is.
And
yes.
you're denying yourself, I think, like there are some foods where it's like, thank God I tried that.
What was the last one you had that you were like, wow, I didn't know this?
Well, that's a good question. I probably haven't tried as many new things recently either. But yeah, I'm really glad that I've gotten into sushi.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah, sushi would be one.
Yeah.
That it's good.
Yeah.
It's very good. What were the other ones? There was one, it was like it's like a Mexican dish where it's rolled in like a banana leaf.
Oh, neat.
I forget the name of it, but it was actually quite tasty.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be quite bland, quite much different.
Yeah.
I forget the name. Somebody will
But
tell
some
us.
of the spicier stuff you might want to try, or other cultures or foods from other countries, give them a try.
I got a third taco, which was fabulous taco. It was, and I said, Dustin, I want you to try this because he would never. What did he get at the taco place?
He got a hot dog.
He got a hot dog. So I said, look, this is like, think of this as a Mexican beef dip. He's like, oh, really? I'm like, yes. I said, Dustin, I wouldn't do this to you. I wouldn't set you up so you wouldn't like it. He loved it. He would never have ordered that, though.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of it comes down to
tamale
or spice
That's what
or
that is.
spices used, right?
Sure.
I mean, most cultures will have something that uses beef. So the beef's going to taste more or less the same. It's just how it's spiced or specifically prepared or presented might be a little different. But at the heart of it, it's beef. So do you like what they put on it or mixed with it? Would be what it comes down to. Fair?
Fair enough.
For a lot of beef things anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah, Timber Woodsman, Rip City Step, tamales. That's the one that's wrapped up. Delightful.
Les says, I suspect his CFL travels has opened him up to such adventures.
No.
I'm not sure they have.
No, they serve chicken tenders at the keg.
Yeah, in every city.
And it's usually the same.
Rip City Step, Dusty's wife appreciates his ability to grill frozen burger patties. Smith TM14 says mushrooms are wicked, specifically the mushroom burger from Burger Baron. Yeah, I like mushrooms. All right. I did not think we'd talk about Dustin's food tendencies as much as we did. 780-218-9999. Firing up the grill. Presented by Gemco Fireplaces, proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. The authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces, whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Coyote Steve says, Reid, not all beef is the same. In some countries, their beef can bark. Well, I don't consider that beef. My goodness. All right.
Not all beef is the same, though.
No, I guess what I was saying, though...
But we weren't talking about
if
dog.
No, we weren't talking about dog meat or unusual meats. I'm just saying most cultures will have a dish involving beef.
Sure.
In Canada, if you're getting beef, you're probably going to get a steak or a burger.
Yep.
A Mexican place, they might give you beef in a taco with maybe different seasonings, right? But at the heart of it, it's beef. So if you like steak or a burger, I don't understand why you would be afraid to try a beef taco.
It's the mental thing.
Just that it's presented differently and might smell different.
It's at a Mexican restaurant, which generally you don't go to.
Well, you and I do.
Generally, Dustin does.
Dustin would not go to. Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a mental thing.
We love Dustin. I just want him to enjoy life to the fullest.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I remember when I was a kid and I wouldn't try something. My dad would say, "You don't know what you're missing."
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I was a little, I didn't like pickles because I think they smelled strong to me. I didn't eat a lot of cheese because I think I found the flavor very sharp. Whereas now I eat a lot of different types of cheese. So, but as a kid, it might be different than being an adult. Let's go out and experience something. Let's get something different to eat. Oh, my friends like this. Maybe I should try it.
Maybe that's the approach we should take, is just because that's what I say with my daughters. I would say, look, I wouldn't give you something, if they're saying, I don't want to try that. I don't want to try this new thing.
Right.
I wouldn't give it to you if I didn't think it was great. Do you think I would do that?
Right.
I like it.
Or
so
if I know you've
try
tried this flavor and you legitimately don't like it, I'm not going to force you to eat it.
But then, boom, out of the clouds, my 12-year-old Grace started putting onions on her sandwiches. Red onion.
On her own.
Yeah. Like, awesome. There you go. That's a hurdle.
The Chaos Jester says, I am a meatitarian. It's a life choice. What do they call? No, a carnivore is a meatitarian.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think meatitarian is from a show.
Oh,
Isn't
is
that
it?
from Parks and Rec?
Oh, what was the guy's name?
Yeah.
The guy with the mustache.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he was a great character.
Ron Swanson.
Yes.
Ron Swanson. What's the actor's name? No, Offerman. Nick Offerman.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, we're all over the map
We
on this
are.
show. That's happened before. 780-218-9999. I do want to get to the Jane Daniels question. We got the game of the night, and we got my top three. It's about books. Here comes the Coop.
The Panthers scored 2 quick goals over the Rangers to take a 2-0 lead with just about 14 and a half minutes left in the first. And later it's a Kraken against a hockey club while the Jets meet with the Predators. And the NHL has fined the Dallas Stars $100,000 after they violated the collective bargaining agreement for practicing during the NHL holiday break. And on the court, the Wizards lead by 2 over the Knicks, and the Bulls trail 12-7 against the Hornets, seeing 7 games in the NBA. And Week 17 of the NFL wraps up tonight when the 49ers play the Lions. We have a quick timeout before the Reid Wilkins Show returns. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
From our Sentinel Storage family to yours, wishing you and those you love a wonderful holiday season. A new year filled with an abundance of great health, much laughter, successes that make you smile and delight, and to be surrounded by people and places that make you the happiest.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
All right, portions this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. Wing Wednesdays, unbeatable at the CBH, only 69 cents each, and a mountain of flavors to savor. Flavor of the month for December is maple rosemary. We're going to have to get the January flavor. Do that wing thing every Wednesday at the Canadian Brewhouse. All right. 780-218-9999. Good show today, guys. Thanks to everybody who's been chiming in. Nasty Chat's really been off and running today. It's one of those days where that's what I love about it. People, they just talk with each other. Because I think if you text, I think people are smart enough to realize we can't read every single text. But I think if you text, you're hoping it's going to get read on air. I think if you go on the Nasty Chat, you think, well, they might read it on air, but I'm also just talking with other people, with other nasties. That's the cool thing about it. Give us a thumbs up there as well. We'll still try to get to 100 this show. Obviously, listenership, the patterns for people sort of changes at this time of year, but let's see if we can still get to 100 thumbs. And, okay, here's what I wanted to get to. What I wanted to get to 25 minutes ago. If you're new to the show, this is normal, everybody.
It happens.
We have numerous topics, sometimes all in the same minute. So somebody wrote in and said, is Jaden Daniels going to be as good as, or what did they say? Better than Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Okay. Fun topic. I said not relevant. It's relevant how good he is. But, Jaden Daniels doesn't need to be better than Lamar Jackson in terms of stats for the Commanders to be a good team and maybe win a Super Bowl.
No.
But here's a question I want to ask, though. The quarterbacks taken in the first round this year. Caleb Williams for the Bears. The 2022 Heisman winner. Jaden Daniels went to the Commanders, 2023 Heisman winner. Drake May went to the Patriots, 3rd. Michael Penix Jr. played last night for the Falcons, went 8th. J.J. McCarthy went to the Vikings, 10th. So he got hurt, and that's why Darnold's playing? And playing very well. Bo Nix went to Denver. He's looked pretty good. So those guys were all in the top 12. I think it's more relevant to compare Jaden Daniels to that quarterback class. To me, he's clearly the best guy this year. The question is, will he be the best of those guys 4 or 5 years from now?
Well, that is fair. That is the way probably to do it best. As of right now, yes. He's gonna win the Rookie of the Year. That's, with 1 week left.
They're in the playoffs.
There was a time that Bo Nix was putting a little bit of pressure on that. But just the way that I guess the way that Jaden Daniels plays, and last night he broke the rookie rushing record that was held by Robert Griffin III.
Right.
I mean, he's rewriting the rookie record book. So that alone is going to say he is the best right now. That being said, this could be one of those. I mean, because obviously J.J. McCarthy, he blew out his knee in training camp. Welcome Sam Darnold, and you know how that's worked out. Bo Nix is good. Michael Penix looked really good last night.
A couple fourth downs, he made some awesome clutch throws.
Drake May, to be determined. Now, right now, New England Patriots are winning the Travis Hunter sweepstakes.
That's right. They're last right now.
They are last. So they play Buffalo in the last week. So the odds are that they're going to lose that and secure the number 1 overall pick, which will be Travis Hunter.
Does that game meaningful to Buffalo for a seed?
No, because Kansas City's already wrapped up number 1 seed.
But is Buffalo locked up number 2?
I believe.
I'm not even sure.
They should, yes. But that will help a player like Drake May. So Drake May is a little bit to be determined. TBD, bro.
TBD, bro. And here's another thing, and we see this in a lot of sports. What's going to be done around these players? The Commanders, so Schneider sold the team, right?
Yes.
Generally, he's not regarded as having been a good owner.
Terrible. One of the worst.
And weren't they applauding the new guy yesterday at some point that was shown on I can't remember his name. Anyway, so they're the Bears, and I've said when I've watched the Bears with Caleb Williams, I'm like, how is this guy number 1 overall? Bears haven't been a good franchise.
Yeah, the Bears.
So what's around the guy? Michael Penix Jr., pretty good. Also nice to have Bijan Robinson if you're not passing the ball.
A lot of that has to do with coaching and developing those players at the right time. The Chicago Bears are wasting this year of Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams will be a star quarterback for the Chicago Bears. They need to gut that entire coaching staff.
Well, they probably will.
They have been bad for several years.
Chaos Jester says, can't predict quarterback careers. Darnold was written off by nearly every team after his Jets start. Well, that's a good point. I mean, and that's where was Brady drafted? Was it exactly 200th or 199th?
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was drafted literally last.
Last.
Now I know there's questions about what might happen with him in San Francisco, but he still had played good games. Mahomes wasn't first overall. Wasn't he 10th? I think he was 9th or 10th.
Yes,
somebody will put it in the
Bears passed. The Bears passed on him, by the way.
Well, and that's the crazy. I mean, any team can blow a draft pick. When teams do it over and over again, then you wonder what's wrong.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels, I think, is special, and I like the way he runs because it's with purpose.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get the heck out of dodge. He'll duck out and get out of bounds.
Was that last night, though? Because I watched a game in the afternoon, too, and I watched hockey. Was there not a play in the red zone when he ran left and Collinsworth criticized him for tucking the ball right away?
Yes.
And so you can't make it look like a running play. You still got to hold the ball out there and make the DBs think, oh, crap, he might throw it.
It was a designed run. I know the exact play you're talking about because he took a bit of a shot. And I don't know if he was criticized. Well, yes, he was criticizing Daniels, but I think in that situation he was criticizing the play call.
Okay.
Because that was, I think, the third consecutive run for Jaden Daniels. And that is not what you want him to become. He's a pocket passer, but he can use, like, if you're Trey Ford, that is what you should be looking to become.
Right.
Is an established pocket passer that can use your legs to get out of tough situations.
But that's also what I've said, and I know when I talk about Riley, it wasn't called runs for him, but he would leave the pocket and tuck the ball. And Chris Jones, who did better in that era, coaching the team, said you gotta hold the ball out. You gotta hold it like you might throw it, even if you know there's no one to throw it.
Even if you're past the line of scrimmage,
right?
Just get the guy in the air.
You've seen quarterbacks fake a throw beyond the line of scrimmage because the defender's like, oh wait, he's not past it. Yeah,
use it.
Abutsky, Caleb Williams, QB coach with the Bears, is ex-CFL star Kerry Joseph.
Yes.
Is he the QB coach there
Yes,
now?
he is.
Because he was with the Seahawks for a while. I interviewed him a few years ago.
Yeah.
On Inside Sports.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they won't be there next year. Book it.
The whole staff.
Everyone.
They're all gone.
Well, it's the head coach is going to go, and then not.
Well, the head coach is already gone.
Well,
Then the interim guy
gonna
will go. Yeah, they'll still.
And Ryan Pohl's general manager, I think he should be on the hot seat too. It could be an all-out double E situation there.
They tear everything down.
Yeah.
780-218-9999. Jump into the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up if you're there as well. Encourage other people in your life to give us a thumbs up as well. We're going to get to our game of the night for our friends, and they are dear, dear friends after bringing that video game machine. At Playmore Tables and Games, from ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for. Visit Canada's game room experts, locations in Edmonton and Calgary, or online at playmoregames.ca. My game of the night, you have a little more for this, eh? Despite there being a Monday Night Football game, but let's face it, now when the schedule came out, this would have been like, oh my God.
Yes.
Now it's like, oh my God. I mean, the Lions should win. It's Lions at 49ers. My game of the night is going to be Utah at Seattle because the Oilers play both these teams this week.
Sure.
Utah tomorrow, and they're in Seattle on Saturday. So I'll make my game of the night Utah at Seattle. By the way, the Rangers are already losing again, 2-0 in Florida. Nashville plays Winnipeg. Our 2 Stanley Cup predictions before the season. Your Winnipeg Jets are doing good. My pick, the Nashville Predators, are not.
Who would have thought?
But I'll make my game of the night Utah at Seattle in the National Hockey League.
I'm going to keep, in, I guess, prime time here and keep my game Detroit at San Francisco. This game is 100% meaningless for the Detroit Lions. They can go and lose and make a new scoregami, 73-2.
Right.
Something like they could lose. It wouldn't matter. It all comes down to next Sunday night, which the game was flexed. Minnesota at Detroit.
Yes.
I want to see what and how Dan Campbell approaches this game. He's stubborn. Is he going to play Jared Goff for more than 2-3 series? Is he going to try get his, there's players that have incentives. There's players that need these yards, touchdowns, sacks, what have you. So that's always the interesting thing to watch here at the end of the year is there's players that can literally make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in these final games, as meaningless as they are. Do you remember last year? Chris Jones.
Some of it.
Superstar defensive tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
None of the other starters for Kansas. It was a game like this.
Okay.
It was the last game of the year. Chris Jones is playing because he earned $1.25 million for that sack he got in that game. That allowed him to hit his bonus on the season.
$1.25 million.
For one sack.
To get whatever the threshold was.
That was, he hit it. Zach Ertz, last night, huge winner. Huge. How many thousands of dollars do you think Zach Ertz made last night?
On that touchdown?
On last night in
So he
total.
he hit a receptions bonus?
He hit 3 different bonuses last night.
I'll say $750,000.
You're bang on. His game-winning touchdown catch was his 6th TD catch of the year, $250,000. He had 72 receiving yards. That put him over 600 on the year, $250,000. He had 6 receptions last night, which put him over 60 receptions on the year, $250,000. He made $750,000 last night.
I didn't look that up. I just thought, okay, it's a tight end. His bonuses probably aren't $2 million.
And not to mention, he did catch the game winning and, sealing their playoff hopes touchdown pass. Geno Smith, your beloved Geno Smith.
My sometimes beloved Geno Smith.
With 186 passing yards this next week in Week 18 at the Rams. Now, this is a meaningless game for the Seahawks.
Yeah, is he going to play?
Well, you tell me, riddle me this. If he passes for 186 yards, he gets a $2 million bonus. His completion percentage right now is 70.2.
Okay.
If he stays above 69.75, another $2 million bonus. So either way, he's getting it. But I don't know if this has a stipulation that he has to play all games.
Oh,
because usually those are like healthy.
Oh, the percentage there'd be in attempts, but he would have enough attempts.
DeAndre Hopkins, the Chiefs are at the Broncos. Meaningless game for the Chiefs. He needs 9 catches to get $250,000 bonus. He's 140 yards shy of 610 receiving yards. Or sorry, he has 610 receiving yards. He's 140 yards short of a $250,000 bonus. He's 1 TD away from his 6th $500,000 bonus. Like the games next week, if you want to take some props and you find out that Geno Smith is playing, I would say put a prop that he passes for over 190 yards.
Now does so Barkley got over 2,000 yards.
Yes.
But does he get a bonus if he breaks Dickerson's record?
I don't know. He's already got a ton of bonuses off of his performance. And a lot of these players have Pro Bowl or All-Pro bonuses that are in as well. Like J.K. Dobbins. He's 58 yards away from a $150,000 bonus. Now that's at the Raiders. This is a lot of these are meaningless games with players that mean a lot to their team. So what do you do as a coach? I don't know.
And what do you do if you're a quarterback, you would think you're feeding a guy.
Well, yeah, like DeAndre Hopkins. You don't think he's got some skin in the game next week? And, I didn't know this last night, but it was, wow, Zach Ertz is having his greatest game of the year. Well,
good time.
$750,000 reasons for that.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't know the bonuses were that many.
It's always fun at this time of year to look at what players are actually playing for.
Right. By the way, I should have addressed this earlier. Jesse Puljujarvi has been placed on waivers by the Penguins. My short answer is no. I think everybody knows the question. Do you know the question?
Would you pick up Jesse Puljujarvi?
Should the Oilers put in a claim? My answer would be no. I think that
for where?
Ship has sailed. 780-218-9999. That was good stuff. We are in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Check him out online, jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. We'll get to my top 3 for food sausage. It's related to literature when we get back to the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
The Rangers trail 2-0 against the Panthers nearing the end of the first period before it's Seattle hosting Utah and Nashville visiting Winnipeg. And after hosting practice on Boxing Day, the Dallas Stars have received a $100,000 fine for violating the collective bargaining agreement for being on the ice during a mandated break. And in basketball, the Wizards stand 30-27 over the Knicks at the end of the first, while the Bulls are down 24-15 entering the second in their game against the Hornets. And Week 17 of the NFL wraps up tonight, seeing the 49ers play the Detroit Lions. The Reid Wilkins Show wraps up on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, keeping you in the loop.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement. time.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Well, we're here. Isn't it great to be here? Back after a little bit of time off. Our last show was last Monday. You were off for that one.
Yes.
We are having a show tomorrow.
Yes.
Wednesday's off. We'll have shows Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
And then it's back to the old 5-day-a-week grind. We love it.
We do.
780-218-9999 to text the EST inbox.
What's going on in the chat, Coob? Is somebody on a road trip?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I saw Barhead, and I had to get in the chat. Jodes is talking a little bit about Barhead, that they have a new McDonald's.
Oh, wow.
If you are
That's huge.
From Barhead, are you a Barheadian?
Barheader.
Barheady? Header?
Barheading it in.
What
yeah.
do you call someone from Barhead?
I always thought that was such an interesting name. Like, my grandmother lived there. My dad grew up right outside of Barhead, and I'm just like, who came up with that name? And there are a lot of bars in Barhead. I think there's, you walk across the street, there's probably like 4 liquor stores.
It's got to be
in
a
the town
last
of
name.
Yeah, I don't
1,000.
think it has anything to do with alcohol consumption.
Because it's B-A-R-R.
For places to consume. What is it named after?
Barheady.
Who's Barhead named after? I don't know. Yeah, but I don't think it's because that there were a lot of drinking establishments.
Although that would be great.
The town was named after the Scottish town Barhead, the birthplace of one of the children of the area's early settlers, James Maguire. And Barhead in Scotland has been around a long time. I don't know where it came from.
Scotland.
Yeah, that's all you got to know.
There you go.
What else do you have to know?
You learn something new every day. We still don't know what you're called.
No.
Barheadists?
Barhedens? All right. Oh, man. Sorry for the coughing today, folks. 780-218-9999. I said I was going to do this top 3 before the end of the year. So my choices were limited. I had to do it today or tomorrow. It's my top 3 for food sausage. The best sausages you will ever eat, locally made, packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in-store. 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount. That's right, 10% off your order by entering the online code EST or mentioning EST in-store. Free delivery in Edmonton on orders over $100. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. I'm going to do the top 3 books I read in 2024. I dove back into reading a lot more often and a lot more books this past year. I think I'm still only at 14 or 15 books. I know there's some people who will read like 60 books a year. But for me, doing slightly over 1 a month is pretty good.
Good for you.
As I've told you, I've read a lot of books off the Libby app, so you can take a book out digitally out of the Edmonton Public Library.
Yes.
Which has been pretty cool. And I've read several. I'm finished. So I got a physical copy of a Jack Reacher book for Christmas, but I read a few other ones online. I really like the Jack Reacher books as well. So these are my top 3 books that I have read in 2024. And I encourage other people to submit a good book they read in this past year. I think it's a good way to share. Because one of these books, I just stumbled. I never would have heard of it. I stumbled across it as a recommendation on the Libby app, and I was like, okay, it sounds interesting. I'll give it a try. But my first one, I had to pick a Jack Reacher book. It's the 3rd one in the series. I think it's the 4th one I read. Coop, you can put up the picture of the what are they called, the jackets when they're a book, the cover. It's called Tripwire. So have you ever read any Jack Reacher?
No.
Have you seen any of the TV series?
I'm aware of Jack Reacher.
All right.
I've never read it.
So part of the reason I finally read them is because Shay Gannam, my former colleague at Ched, loves these books. Though he said now Lee Child is co-writing them with his brother, and he kind of said as soon as the brother gets involved, they're not as good. But there's like 20 of them before that because I think they've been going since 98 or 99. So I'm going to pick Tripwire. It's the 3rd one in the series. It has a great and very sinister one-armed villain. And they're always, they're kind of, he's solving a mystery, but there's action scenes in them. And Jack Reacher is a huge guy who knows how to shoot guns. Basically, he knows a lot of ways to injure and or kill people. Right? So he's former military, and he sort of just roams the United States. And, trouble seems to find him, Jay. Isn't that amazing?
So is Jack Reacher... is that Bourne? Is that the same person?
No.
Is it based off the same?
No, Jason Bourne was written by Robert Ludlum, I believe.
Right. So Jack Reacher is pretty much just like Bourne, though.
I guess you could kind of put Reacher, Bourne, maybe even Bond into similar characters, although Bond specifically is working for the government. But they're very...
So was Bourne.
Oh, was he?
What do you mean, was he?
I don't remember.
Of course he was a robot for the government.
But didn't he lose his memory?
Well, they may have taken it from him.
I thought in the first one he lost his memory.
Okay.
He didn't know who he was.
So just to help me understand how badass this Jack Reacher is, who wins in a one-on-one closed room cage match, Jack Reacher or Jason Bourne?
Reacher.
Really? No weapons allowed?
Hand to hand. He's
How?
6'5".
That's impossible.
Oh, Reacher's deadly.
Okay, well,
he will kill you.
You got me hooked.
Yeah. No, I think you'd enjoy them. And he's very confident, but there's always a good mystery involved as well. It's not just him going around smashing heads, though there's a lot of that. And the book I'm just finishing that I got for Christmas is Bad Luck and Trouble. He will kill you if he doesn't like you. So Tripwire is the one I'm picking, though, for one of the best books I read this year.
Is there an actual physical tripwire?
No,
used?
it's a system the villain had set up for himself to warn himself of incoming danger.
Okay.
Of an incoming threat to his scam.
So like a digital tripwire.
Yeah. Sorry, Coob, you didn't get those pictures? No. I'm sorry. No, it's not all good. I was supposed to send them to you. I can send them to you now.
Just hang on. What do you think about just simply bar heads?
If you're from Barhead, you're a bar head?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I guess you're just a bar head.
That came in from Sickler. I think that makes sense. Yeah, I'm a bar head.
That's pretty good, actually.
That's not bad.
What do you call someone from Barhead?
A barhead.
A bar head.
Okay. Book number 2.
Book number 2. Top 3 books I read this year. Coob, I don't know what's going on. Try it now. Okay, the second book, one of the main characters is an octopus.
Oh.
Yes.
I think
remarkably bright creatures.
Yes. You were reading this just recently.
Yeah, just in the last couple of months.
Because you showed me the Libby app.
Yeah.
And this was the book you were reading.
Yeah, I might have had it going at the time. It started off a little slow for me, and then you really get drawn in. The octopus, I believe he's named Marcellus, is a very interesting character. Like, he gets out of his tank at night and goes eats fast food out of the garbage cans at the aquarium. But he's very smart, and he basically helps this woman figure out what happened to her long disappeared son. And then I'll just say it's a very bittersweet ending. I actually teared up in the last few pages. Yes. And I rarely am affected that way.
Did they turn him into calamari? It happened.
TBD, brah. But this one was a nice surprise. And it wasn't along the lines. It's a mystery, but it's not a whodunit, so to speak.
Right.
There's a mystery involved, but it's very character driven, and you just fall in love with this octopus because the chapters the chapters that he is in, he narrates. It's first person narrative from his point of view.
Interesting.
So you know what he's thinking, and he's not fond of humans. He thinks we're a little dumb and sloppy, but he's very observant and figures a lot of things out.
Huh.
Yeah.
So he lives in a zoo?
He lives in an aquarium.
In the aquarium?
It's somewhere in Washington State.
Wow.
Yeah. Remarkably bright creatures. I got to put that on there.
Is there other creatures other than the octopus?
Yes, but they're just other animals that he's smarter than in the aquarium.
Just regular aquarium.
Yeah, well, at one point he has to go into another tank to get something that is needed. And I think those wolf fish or whatever, the ones with the big underbite and the huge teeth, and he kind of has to be like, hey, we're cool, right? Like, I'm just going to get this and leave. But generally, he just refers to these other animals as lesser beings than him. He's arrogant. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Fiction or nonfiction?
I'm pretty sure it's fiction, Jay.
Are you sure?
These are all fiction. In my past, I've usually read more well, I guess I've gone through different spells. When I used to read years ago, I would read more nonfiction, but this year it was all fiction.
Really?
Oddly enough, yeah.
I like fiction, but based off of something,
like historical fiction,
kind of like Grisham. Those are
like
generally
the
from
courtroom
cases
stuff?
that have already happened, but he writes it and changes his name, changes the story, and all that stuff. But it's the same trial, so to speak.
Box Pounder says, My Octopus Teacher is a fantastic documentary. What's that about? Apparently, octopi are apparently remarkably intelligent. Though the title, Remarkably Bright, I don't want to give too much away for people who want to read it. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, it actually made me emotional near the end. My third pick for one of the top 3 books I read in 2024 is kind of I was going to say humorous book. It's not a comedy, but it's more of it's a somewhat lighthearted murder mystery. And it's one of those books that is, I guess, sort of almost a meta book. Like, it's a little self-referential. So it's the second in a series. The third one is coming out, I think, in 2025. It's by Benjamin Stevenson. It's called Everyone on This Train is a Suspect. The first book in the series was called Everybody in My Family Has Killed Someone. And when you read especially in the first book, I read them both this year. So in the first book, he's saying, okay, this is a murder mystery. Here are some of the rules of murder mysteries. I'm not going to hide anything from you. I'm not going to introduce a character late in the book that did it all. There's not going to be a ghost or something that was doing it. It's all real. And then he says, if you want to skip to the juicy parts, the murders are on pages 14, 67, 88, and 120, like stuff like that. And then that one is set at an Australian ski retreat. And then this one is obviously set on a train. So Orient Express-ish.
Okay.
And then the third book that is either out or just coming out is called, I think it's called Everyone This Christmas Has a Secret. Mm-hmm. So he's sort of making now a series where everyone, yada, yada, something. But it's a good book. It's a good mystery, but there's a lot of sort of humor in it. Some of it's subtle, some of it obvious. So Everyone on This Train is a Suspect will be on my list as well.
Interesting form of writing.
Yeah.
Right? Where he's... that would be interesting. So it's 3 books, but you don't have to read them in order to get it?
No.
They're all
I think in this one he might reference...
Would it help if you read them in order?
I guess you
can't tell the third one,
yeah.
right?
I just because I'm a bit of... even the Reacher ones I'm reading mostly in order, though I skipped ahead a little bit with Bad Luck and Trouble. yeah, you could read Everyone on This Train is a Suspect without reading Everyone in My Family is Killed. Well, look, what great titles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I read the first one. The name of the book is Everyone in My Family has Killed Someone. How do you not want to pick that up?
Catchy.
And then the second one, I think he references a couple things that happened in the first book, in the second book, but it's mostly new characters.
Gonna have to read some of these, Reid.
Well, I'd say I'd loan them to you, but most of them were on Libby.
You read all those on there. Eh?
No, not all of them, but I read a lot on Libby. Like I read the first Harry Potter book on Libby. I read all, except for the book I'm reading now, I read all the Jack Reachers on Libby. I read Remarkably White Creatures on Libby.
I don't know that I could read on my phone.
Hey, okay, I read on my iPad.
Okay.
So, yes, sometimes I might read a few pages on my phone, but usually I would read on my iPad. I gotta say, man, it's pretty good. I didn't think I would like it. I thought, I need the physical sensation of holding pages and turning pages. But it's pretty convenient reading it on your iPad.
It's not hard on your eyes.
I was fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
I find after I'm on here doing this, my eyes are like beat up after.
Oh,
They're
really?
tired. But that being said,
I think that's just having to look at me.
I think I do need to get readers.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Getting old sucks,
a little
man.
Pince-nez?
Yeah, I'll just keep them on the end of my nose. Yeah. Chuba Hubbard got injured, eh?
How bad?
He's on IR. He's going to miss the rest. Well,
they got one game
next week. But
he was Offensive Player of the Week in the NFC after we had him on the show.
Yeah. That's the Reid
when
Wilkins
he got the overtime game winner, yeah.
Who else are we talking about?
Joe Aginla.
Yeah, Joe
got
Aginla.
A hat trick yesterday.
Hello.
Yes, 2 months after he was on the
We got to
Reid
get
Wilkins
him
show.
on again.
We should have Joe Aginla on
Yes.
again. We should see if we can bring him in.
Yes.
Maybe him and another teammate or something.
No, just him.
Just Joe? Okay.
He's so entertaining.
He was excellent. All right. We're going to wind her down because I think my voice has had it. I'm sorry for the sniffles and the coughs.
We got a lot tomorrow. New Year's Eve.
New Year's. We're going to talk
Oilers
World
game
Juniors. It's an Oilers game. Is Jed coming in tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
And we should have a very special guest with some World Junior memories as Canada and the United States are going to play their New Year's Eve game. Just working on nailing that down. Okay. And it's the Oilers against the Utah Hockey Club, who they beat in overtime earlier this season. Remember who got the game winner?
Big game.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, an even strength goal, but it was 3-on-3.
True enough.
All right. Thank you for listening to the show or watching the show as well. If you're in on YouTube, give us a final thumbs up in the last couple of minutes if you haven't already. Big thanks to Zachary Kubish, our technical producer and sports update deliverer. He's the glue guy. I'm Reid. Have a great night.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.